Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fergoso's report on SactownSports.com. It is time. It is 10 o'clock. Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Whitey and Watkins.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
All right. Well, Monday is underway here. Let's get a couple things straight as we begin.
Love some Monday vibes.
Yes. For one thing, the Jimmy G news just brightens my mood, makes me happy.
Just because he's going to play?
Yeah, I like Jimmy G. I'm still kind of rooting for him.
Mm-hmm. I am too, a little bit.
I don't know how it's going to go, but that's good.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
I mean, it was...
he gets his money.
I was not looking for... I mean, a little bit. The messy part of me was definitely a little bit wondering, okay, how will this go down? If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't pass his physical, are the Raiders really just going to throw out Aiden O'Connell or Brian Hoyer, and are they going to make some rush signing? Are we going to see something just absolutely insane happen? I'm glad that the Raiders have their quarterback. I have tons of Raider fans in my life who have already been through enough terrible stuff throughout the years. They didn't need this to be thrown on top of what will probably be a meaningless season anyway. But no, I'm excited to see Jimmy Garoppolo on, but especially off the field in Las Vegas. I think it's going to be a marriage that's gonna fit really perfectly.
Did you see that your guy Kirk Cousins? Is that okay if I call him your guy?
It's not, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
I get it. No, I get it.
Jared Goff.
He's
is your
unfortunately
guy.
my.
Is that wrong? Also,
I think I'll take ownership.
You know, Monday.
I know.
Can't get anything right.
Can't get it right.
Kirk Cousins, his choice for the most underrated quarterback, because they asked him.
Yeah, that's right. We got everybody else's. We never got Kirk.
Said, "Oh, it's this guy," and Mariota said, "Yeah, it's this guy." Kirk Cousins said, "It's Jimmy."
Did he? Oh no, actually, I didn't see that.
That was in the extra 8-minute footage,
right?
That they took.
Yeah, their little 3-person interview.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He says all he does is win.
Kirk would say that. I mean, yeah, it's not really about, and that's what's interesting about Jimmy is he does kind of get, to Kirk's point, he does kind of get the short end of the stick. I think people talk about Jimmy just kind of, so they dismiss him very easily. It's just like, oh, he's on such a great team here or he was on such a great team here in San Francisco that, you know, it's easy for him. He's just giving it to his weapons. Anybody could run this offense.
Never
and Jimmy, as a
Super
matter
Bowl,
of fact,
overthrew Emmanuel Sanders.
He definitely made some bad plays, but I think that, you know, Jimmy is a capable quarterback, which might not be great. And it's definitely not what a lot of people are looking for, but you know, he's okay. He's solid. He's the definition of you could do worse. You could definitely do better. He's probably 15 to 20th best quarterback in the NFL, which, you know, obviously is in the lower half. But I think, you know, people talk about him like he's not a starter quality guy. And he, to me, in my opinion, like if you have Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback, you can like, it shouldn't be used as an excuse. I think you can overcome all of his shortcomings if your team is truly good enough, but he's by no means. And we're going to see it, I think, a lot this year in Vegas. He cannot uplift a team. Absolutely not.
I think one of the problems for Jimmy in terms of perception is that he's good at things that most of us as fans don't really appreciate.
Right.
Like we were talking last week, he was a good fit for the 49er offense because he gets the ball out
on time, on target.
And that's the type of thing that is, you know, and it used to be as fans, we'd say, well, he wins. And now It's like, well, if you don't win the Super Bowl, the other winning doesn't count. Well, one thing I'll say for Jimmy G it's indisputable. When he was with New England, he had a little bit of a reputation as a guy that didn't want to play hurt.
Right.
Because there was a time when they thought he could have played, he didn't play, and Jacoby Brissett had to play and didn't play well. But Jimmy G, I think, put that all to rest the way he played with all the aches and pains. Now you can say, well, he's just too brittle, he gets hurt all the time. But he did show a willingness, especially a couple of years ago with the thumb injury and a shoulder injury, to play through those hurts.
Yeah.
So that means something. Obviously, if you're too debilitated, you can't help your team win. But will he play hurt? Yeah, he will do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, we saw in that quarterback series, like these guys takes a tons of bumps and bruises, and we don't realize some of them. But
yeah, that's true.
You know, I think Jimmy is I think he's fine. Like I think that he's the type of guy who will play through injury. I think he is somebody who can get a locker room behind him. You know, again, like he's not gonna. I don't think he's ever going to, you know, outplay the guy that we think he is. But I think he's solid enough on a year-to-year basis to show that he's, you know, he's capable of running an NFL offense. And, you know, there's, you know, that might be a low bar to reach, but I think that we see every year that there is a good handful of people who can't. And, you know, Jimmy being one of those guys who can. Like I'd much rather have Jimmy Garoppolo than Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or some of the other guys that we've seen given a chance in these past couple of years.
The other thing I think we have to get out of the way so we can move on is the Barbie movie apparently is really good.
That's what Chris says.
Yeah, I know. One of my daughters saw it. She said it's really funny. So would you agree with that, Christopher Ladd? Is it really funny?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, okay.
And it might be my favorite movie of the year.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
And you saw Oppenheimer same day. So
I did.
I would like to see somebody take those two movies with the opposite approach. Make Oppenheimer the comedy.
Yes.
And make Barbie the really
the hyper
serious
drama.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible. Chris, who was like the understated star in Barbie?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Okay.
My daughter said he might be up for a major award.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she said based on what she said. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm sure. Does that classify as true cinema? I remember Martin Scorsese going on this big rant about how Marvel movies aren't real cinema. Is Barbie,
I don't know.
Is Barbie going to be considered one of the greatest films of our time?
It's probably more pointed than the Marvel movies, right?
It is true cinema. And I will say it's probably, I'm trying to think of the word. It doesn't follow like a formula. Like going in, I'm like, I think it's going to end up like this. This is going to happen. And then like a quarter of the way through the movie is like, oh, this is a totally different thing than I thought it was going to be.
Janelle was telling me that apparently the set designers noticed that the Barbie dolls in the Barbie dream house, she's really like 23% bigger than everything in the house.
Yeah.
And so when they did the movie, the actors are like 23% bigger than everything.
So they had to scale everything down?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So it makes it feel a little more immersive. Like that level of detail. That's really incredible.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig directed
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Finest. Shouldn't expect nothing less. Nothing less.
So all that said, what were the three biggest things that happened in sports this weekend? And was the Baseball Hall of Fame ceremonies, were they one of the top three?
No.
Not even top three?
I literally didn't see a single thing from the Baseball Hall of Fame this weekend. I didn't see it. Didn't pop up on my Twitter feed. Nothing on Instagram. No. Oh my God, look at these two legends dapping up. Haven't seen each other in so long. Nothing.
Sounds like you know a lot about it, though.
I know. I heard quite literally nothing about it. I heard more about Messi. I heard more about the Women's World Cup on Friday. Was there any,
British Open?
The British Open, of course, was
they were
probably
very
the biggest
rude
headline.
to Brian Harmon.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Which I was being rude to him at home, but to do it in front of his face, like, come on, man. Like, I mean,
I hope your shot goes in the bunker.
The whole time I was like, I mean, this is all fine and dandy, but I would like to see a name that I actually know. I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of how I am with golf anyway. I'm like, like I understand it's kind of part of the fun, the parody of it. You know, even the best don't win every week, but when it comes to the majors, sometimes I'm just like, you know, notoriety would be nice. Like it would be nice to just kind of say, oh yeah, here's Rory winning his whatever it would be 5th or 6th or whatever.
Apparently at one point it seemed like they were rooting for anyone but him. Cameron Young's an American and it seemed like they were behind him.
Yeah.
But they were not behind Brian Harmon. And then, you know, just what was it, 2 weeks ago or last weekend, we had the celebrity golf at Edgewood.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're going to heckle somebody, it's like, F you. You know, you suck. And
right.
The British Open's like, I hope your shot goes in the bunker. It's a little different.
I heard about Brian Harmon in his post round say that someone told him that he didn't have the stones for it. And that really got him going, which, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's a real insult. And I like to hear that, you know, he was like, that fueled me. Like when he said that, I mean, especially as somebody who, you know, everyone was expecting him at some point to kind of have a collapse or, you know, have the field kind of catch up with him at some point. And, you know, that's a very, I don't know. It just makes it a little bit more real for me where I'm like, that's something I could relate to is if somebody were to tell me and know, you already know nobody expects it. Exactly. You already have to know no one expects you to win. And then if someone in the crowd, especially a nice little, where was it? It was in Liverpool, nice little UK folk just being giving you a little sass. No, like I'm here to win tournament.
I guess Fleetwood grew up not far from there, like 30 miles from there. So they were pulling for him. They were pulling for Rory. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then finally it's like, okay, he's going to win.
Yeah. It was a huge weekend. Yeah. I actually saw a note here that he led by 5 shots at the end of the final 3 rounds.
All right.
First time since 1934.
Is that one of the top 3? I mean, it's a major event, even though it was won by, give him credit. First time he's won a major. And I think he's only the 3rd lefty ever to win that tournament.
Definitely.
The Open.
Absolutely.
I love it that British Open, they don't say, this is the British Open.
The British Open.
This is the Open.
The Open. It's like the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Like all those other things are all cute and fine and dandy, but like this is where it matters. This is the one that counts. This is the
birthplace of golf.
Exactly.
How about Messi's debut Friday night?
It's pretty spectacular.
Messi's debut, Women's World Cup, and the Open? Those are 3 biggest sports stories of the weekend?
Yeah, from my perspective of things, I would say so. I mean, even the Women's World Cup was a little tamed. I think Chris was telling me before the show on Friday that the U.S. was like, I think legitimately minus 20,000 favorites. So you would have had to put a ton of money just to win anything. So they were heavily expected to win.
Baht. Isn't that the Vietnamese currency? Isn't it the baht? I don't know.
No clue.
Okay.
No clue. I have no clue. But the over-under was like 7 goals. And so it was supposed to be just an absolute rout from the U.S. women and only won 3-0. So even that game had a little, a little bit dampering of what it was supposed to be. But the Messi debut was incredible. I mean, that's what everybody paid to see. There was, I think, the top tickets were going for $11,000 or something crazy like that.
So that's like one of those games where you just go so you can say you were there.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're buying it for the ticket stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't even start.
No, he didn't. Yeah. He didn't get on till like the 55th minute or something like that.
He doesn't know the offense.
Yeah. He doesn't know the offense. Exactly. I mean, it's like Christian McCaffrey in that Chiefs game. You just put him in there and you're like,
you can't do that.
Go be spectacular. And he looked like Messi playing against a bunch of MLS guys. It looked really easy for him.
Except he was playing against Liga MX guys.
Oh, right. He was. Yeah, he was. That's true. Yeah, it was against Cruz Azul. But I mean, he was absolutely dominant. And, that free kick was picture perfect. You really couldn't write a better ending to a debut than that. Like, I mean, that's Messi's spot. And
so are you saying that he's probably going to be better than most of the MLS players he faces? What I have you as a football /
Chris, who would you say is the biggest, like the best international star to ever come over to America, like in terms of their actual like MLS success?
To get success in MLS?
Yes. Like who actually had the best MLS career?
Oh, probably Landon Donovan.
Oh, sure. No, okay.
Okay, now you're thinking of someone coming over. It would be Beckham. They're part of the same team with LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy.
Oh, the heck of a team, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my kids will be talking about that for years now. Beckham and Landon Donovan just tearing up the MLS. Oh, my goodness.
No, that's great. I mean, when there's so much hype and everyone's so excited about it, and the guy comes and boom.
Let
me win the match for you.
LeBron was sitting
home happy.
Sitting pitch side. They had Serena Williams and the owner of Reddit, her husband sitting by the pitch, and who else was there? Kim Kardashian was there. Kim Kardashian's child got Messi's signed jersey after the game, which I thought was just the most American thing possible. And it was incredible. Like it was quite the debut, and that's why everyone paid all that ridiculous money, was to see Messi do something ridiculous like that. And it was really a storybook ending for that match. Like it was an incredible debut for him.
That's not great for baseball when they have the Hall of Fame ceremonies. And, that's one of the reasons they choose that weekend, kind of a slow weekend. And they're still not one of the top 3 sports stories of the weekend.
Maybe you should put bigger stars in your Hall of Fame. Maybe that would get a little bit more interest.
Do you think it's better for the Hall of Fame to just like on a day like that, and we're not putting anybody in? Because that's actually been a debate. You want a big Hall of Fame or a small one?
I think so.
Put anybody in?
Yeah.
Or it's better to have somebody come in?
I think you kind of have to have. I mean, I understand the yearly thing, like you got to get the band together every year and make it feel like a thing, but I don't see how it was, besides for the people involved, how it was really productive to have it. I mean, I just don't think anybody but real baseball purists were that in tune to the Hall of Fame ceremony.
There was one thing about the Hall of Fame that really irks me, but I'm sure we'll get back around to that because coming up next, Mbappe is about to get paid like nobody else ever. Next with Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes, Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vazenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vazenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
You seen the movie Kingpin? You've seen the movie Kingpin, I'm sure, Chris, for a lot.
Of course.
Yeah. In the movie Kingpin, Woody Harrelson's character, when he screws something up, it becomes, his character's name is Munson. It's like a Munson. And in the movie, it's like anytime someone does, it's a Munson, you pull the Munson. So I think Mbappe, is that going to be in anybody in sports or anything? They get the huge bag.
Yeah.
Just like,
you got Mbappe.
Yeah.
Mbappe.
This is unbelievable.
I mean, this is, I would love to use it as a term, but I just don't think that there's ever going to be anything remotely close to this. Like this is truly a one-of-one situation that's about to happen here. Well, potentially could happen here.
How much money is he going to get here, Chris?
Well, it's his salary is going to be allegedly here. I think I'm seeing $776 million or whatever. Is it going to be? I guess dollars is what it's converted into.
Yeah.
For one season. And how soccer works is you have to essentially buy a player from a club, and you have to
kind of similar to what the Kings did with Vazenkov,
exactly.
in a way.
Exactly.
A little bit.
Yes, yeah. You kind of have to pay. You have to negotiate with the club and say, okay, we will purchase this player for X amount of money. And then if the club says yes, you can then go to the player and say, okay, let's work out what your salary is. And that's kind of how it works out. So the initial stages here is PSG, who is Mbappe's club, the team that he plays for.
And they want to get something for him rather than just have him leave.
Exactly.
Which is something we
free transfer.
Relate to as American fans anytime a player is approaching free agency.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So PSG was offered around $332 million for a transfer fee to Saudi club. I believe this is
Al Hilal.
Al Hilal, yes. Al Hilal has offered PSG $332 million for the services of Kylian Mbappe, and they will allegedly offer Kylian Mbappe. By the way, this is a Saudi club, if that wasn't obvious enough by the money being thrown out. They will offer Mbappe a 1-year, $776 million salary to play with the team for one season. And then allow him to probably go on to Real Madrid, where he's been rumored for the past couple of years. So this is really just a 1-year rental. It's really just to get Mbappe over to the Saudi league. More, it's been called sports washing. They're just trying to make the league seem a little bit more official. They already have Cristiano Ronaldo over there. They've been signing tons of slightly bigger names over in European football over the past year. And Mbappe is definitely the biggest fish out there. And if they can get him to come over to their league, it really legitimizes it and makes it so if Ronaldo's over there, who is, somebody who is obviously debated with Messi as one of the greatest of this generation, of if not all time, if they can get the newest up and coming megastar over there as well, it kind of just really opens the lane to say, I mean, who are you if you're not going to accept it? If we have Ronaldo and Mbappe over here, it just kind of it's meant to be a kind of opening up the pathways.
So here. PSG confirms the offer for its player, and they give Al Hilal permission to open negotiations. Sources told ESPN that Mbappe not interested in the offer.
That's great. I mean, if he's in a position to turn down that money, that's
$776 million for one season.
Yeah, pass. He's good. I'll pass. I mean, and that's the great thing about this, I guess, if you will, is that it is still up to the player. It's not just, the club sold your contract, and so you have to go over there. There is still an element that Mbappe does have to agree to do it. He has to agree to all the terms of the contract, and then he can go over there. But if he doesn't want to do it, money is not an obstacle for him. Obviously, he's going to be the next big thing in soccer. If he doesn't want to accept it, he doesn't have to. But it's a lot of money to turn down, especially just for 1 year.
The Saudis are making some kind of statement just by the magnitude of this offer,
right?
Where you'd have to think, if the guy was interested in signing with them, it probably wouldn't take that much. So what's the point other than to get people, again, painfully in some cases, aware of just how much money they have to operate with?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's just showing everybody. Yeah. It's like, name a price.
Yeah.
It's literally like, oh, you can't afford me.
Name a price and we'll triple it.
Bet. Yeah. Because our pockets are endless, and $776 million for 1 year. And they're acknowledging that he will probably, you can go after that. We just want you here for that year, because I mean, that just says how much money they'll probably make off of him in terms of marketing and sales and all that stuff, ticket sales, jersey sales. It's going to be worth it for them, but that just, I mean, even if it's not, it's more just like you're saying, it's more letting everybody know, look, if you want to make money, we have the money and we will give it to you. We just want a little bit of name notoriety, and when you come over here, act like you're happy.
Messi, we just talked about Messi.
He turned it down. Yeah, he didn't want it. I mean, he had I don't know what the exact dollar figure was, but he had a massive contract offer as well, but opted to go over to the United States, where, obviously there's still a ton of money to be made. You won't make anywhere close to the amount of money that is being offered out there in Saudi Arabia, but you could potentially make up some of it, a percentage of it, via endorsements. Obviously, if you're in Miami, New York, LA, you can get tons of brand deals and tiny little things like that can stack up, and you'll make good money here in America for sure, but it's not going to come close to what just the contracts that they're offering out there in Saudi Arabia.
So the crazy thing is, you would think that the Saudis must have had some idea whether he would come over or not. Maybe he will. Early indications are he's not interested. Let's say that's the case. Then they just spent $332 million for what? If they spend a $332 million transfer fee to the rights for a guy that doesn't want to go there,
right?
And they probably had some idea that he might not want to go there. And again, they're just sending a really, really expensive message to everyone that this is how serious we are.
So they go together.
Yes,
so you can't have one without the other.
So you pay you first don't pay the offer fee unless it gets accepted.
Yeah.
Also accepts it. So then it's like one lump
sum. So the first thing is you have to get a club to say okay, we will sell him, and then next you have to get the permission from the player.
Over, then they don't pay.
They don't pay. Yeah.
Thank you.
But if they do, then it would be a combined $1.1 billion for this one move, which is ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous.
That's what it costs nowadays to hire a really good soccer player.
I guess. I mean, I guess
that's more than a team in the MLS. is what he's getting.
Yeah, way, way, way more. I mean, like and he's ridiculous. He is worth every single penny, perhaps. But you don't think so, Chris?
I don't think he's worth $1 billion.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, I guess not for 1 year. Not for 1 year. But he is going to be the biggest star in soccer. And
would you go? Would you take the offer?
Don't put me in that situation.
I'd like to think I wouldn't. I'd like to say
I would love to think I would.
I would love to think I wouldn't. Absolutely. But $776 million that's a lot of money for 1 year.
If you really have issues with the Saudis and some of the things that they've done,
absolutely,
and you say, well, that's okay. I mean, you could not sell out any more shamefully.
Absolutely not.
If that matters at all to you. Some people say they don't care. That's fine. But if that matters at all, and you go, well, yeah, but it's all this money. I mean, you've sold your soul.
That's a lot of money. I would just argue that, with a guy like Kylian Mbappe and Cristiano Ronaldo, definitely you're doing the Saudi government a lot of good because you are changing the perception of how people might view, maybe the people who are less educated and are just looking at this from a surface level. They're like, wow, this new Saudi league is incredible. Everyone's getting paid, not knowing how the money's coming in.
That's the whole point of it is that you get the guys to come over, and then it's just easier for people to overlook things that your government has done.
Absolutely.
Sports washing. That's how it works. If it works. I'm with Rockin' New Era 84 here, and he's thinking of the Hanson song. Me too. Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
Mbappe.
I apologize for admitting that, but I did. One of the first things I thought of.
I'm sure.
I hope he stays and doesn't go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, it's
only money.
I hope he stays too. It will not be worth it for him, I don't believe, to go over there for the 1 year. I think
unbelievable.
And here's the other thing that makes it kind of weird is because he plays for PSG, who gave him a ton of money, who is owned by Qatar, who has also been accused of sports washing. So you're gonna get your hands dirty. No matter what.
I was like, Messi,
come join the MLS.
Hands anyway.
Come join MLS.
Yes. Yeah.
The U.S. has never done anything bad.
The U.S. has never done anything bad. There's only clean money here. Absolutely.
Thank you. God bless America.
God bless America.
Coming up next, who gets your Monday morning game ball and who you throwing under the team bus after a big fat sports weekend? Whitey Watkins tackle that next year on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
For nearly 20 years since Barley Cavanaugh Golf Course opened near the banks of the Sacramento River, it's been Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf course architects designed the course to be an easy walk, but motorized carts are available as well. You and your friends of all abilities will find Barley Cavanaugh featuring a brand new tap room is a great place to play golf. After your round, relax on the outdoor veranda overlooking the course with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit barleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lai with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fregoso's report on SactownSports.com. Buffalo Bills running back and kick return Nyheim Hines suffered a knee injury this weekend and is expected to miss the season. ESPN is reporting that Hines sustained the knee injury when he was struck by a jet ski and will require surgery. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Hate to be that guy. Terrible news about Nyheim Hines, but anytime a player gets hurt, he's doing something that he probably shouldn't be doing, and he says, "It wasn't my fault," you have to wonder. I mean, the main thing is I hope he's fine and I hope he recovers. But you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Jeff Kent, I was washing my truck.
Right. Having people said, isn't the easiest one like I slipped in the shower or I was playing with my kid and then I threw out my back or things like that. And the Nyheim Hines thing sounds honestly kind of like a nightmare. I think Tom Pelissero said that he got hit by I think he was still, but he got hit by a separate
somebody else on a separate jet ski.
Which sounds terrifying. And
You're right.
If it is true, like, best of luck to you. Absolutely. But it's one of those things where when you first hear it, it definitely, raises your eyebrows, perks up your ears a little. And you're like, that's kind of strange. That seems like something, I don't know. It's just not something you hear every day.
Hope he recovers quickly.
Absolutely.
Dalvin Cook then going to take his spot?
It kind of makes a lot of sense. I mean, his brother James is another running back over there in Buffalo. They have really struggled, to say the least, to be an efficient run offense ever since they got Josh Allen. Josh Allen has really been their goal line back, and they use him a ton in the run game. Dalvin isn't really a receiving back, but I think, just in terms of if they need somebody to eat some downs, I think you could do a whole lot worse than Dalvin Cook. Absolutely. I just wonder if Dalvin would almost look at it like you're taking your brother's spot almost. Like, James Cook kind of does, especially with Nyheim Hines out. You think that's going to get him a couple more carries. Will Dalvin be okay with, would you be okay if your brother just came in and was like, "Hey man, I need a job and your job's kind of open and I think I could get it." You got to do what you got to do, but that's also a conversation you got to have.
I would do that before I'd accept an offer from the Saudis, I think.
I think so too.
But I'd like to think I wouldn't do either one.
Yeah.
Anyway, running backs are serious about getting something done here, and we'll get into that more coming up about 10 minutes here because I had a big Zoom meeting.
A huge Zoom meeting, right?
So hopefully they got some things accomplished there. What we want to do here on this Monday, the weekends are so huge sports-wise. Game ball, team bus. Who gets, of all the people who did all the things this weekend, who, Chris Watkins, gets your game ball, and who, if anybody, would you like to just roll under the team bus?
I'm going to give the game ball. I was debating between Harmon or Messi. I think I'm going to give it to Harmon, Brian Harmon, winner of the Open, just because, like I said earlier, led the tournament the last 3 days by 5 strokes. He the entire weekend, from day 2, I saw Harmon was 5 strokes up on everybody, and I was like, who is this guy? And when can we get to some actual names here that I recognize to win the Open? And good on him. He really controlled things all weekend long. Nobody thought he could do it, I'm sure. And for him to come out on top in one of, if not the biggest tournament for golf, the
playing
originator.
in the wet conditions yesterday.
Those bunkers are just a nightmare. To be able to survive that, I'm going to give it to him. That's such a huge accomplishment and a massive victory for him, in kind of in dominant fashion as well. I'm going to give it to Brian Harmon.
Yeah, I have sworn to make you a baseball fan. So as part of my efforts to do that, I'm going to give my game ball to Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Hit a home run yesterday in what may be his final home game as an Angel, because they got the trade deadline. They're going out on the road now.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be back before the trade deadline. So yesterday, for Angel fans, could be his final home game as an Angel. And again, he hit a home run, and that's all he does now is hit home runs. 24th homer in his last 45 games. So he's on a power surge now. He's unbelievable. I don't think the Angels are going to trade him, but this is a guy who, again, rises to the occasion.
Yeah, I mean, Shohei for like you said, I mean, he's in his last possible appearance for the Angels, for him to do that, have a fantastic season. I mean, he gave the Angels all he could. if that was his last game at home, it's disappointing that it never worked out there in LA or in Anaheim, but it's not because he wasn't fantastic. It's not because he didn't live up to everything he was. And if that is the last game that he ever played, what a send off.
Anyway.
Home game. I'm sorry.
Last
Yes, last home game in front of those fans that he played. What a terrific send off that is, because he gave them everything, and I don't know if that organization necessarily deserved it.
Only 5 other major leaguers entered yesterday's play with more than 24 homers for the whole season. And again, his home run in the first inning, his 24th in his last 45 games.
My goodness.
Yeah, and I hate to do this, but I got to throw under the team bus Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I don't like doing it, okay? But it has to be done.
That's incredible.
His sale to the Charlotte Hornets has been approved.
Man.
Let's just take a look at
just terrible.
What the I almost said the Bobcats.
The Bobcats.
What the Hornets accomplished as Michael Jordan owned them. Basically nothing. They didn't do anything.
Pretty much nothing. No major accomplishment.
Yeah, they're 423 and 600 under Jordan.
That's not good.
Yeah, 26th best record over that span. They have not won a playoff series during that time, and they have missed the postseason for the last 7 seasons.
God, could you imagine not making the playoffs for 7 straight years? That must feel like forever. Also, he has the proud distinction of owning the worst record in NBA history in terms of winning percentage. In the 2011-2012 season, the then Bobcats went 7-59 for a .106 win percentage. So, I mean, that really states up perfectly the Michael Jordan era. No playoff series wins, which is incredible. Never finished higher than a 6 seed in the East. That's really tough. I mean, like that is almost as bad as just not making the playoffs at all for 16 years. Like,
if things are going that badly for 5 years, like, well, I guess we better try something different, right? I don't know. But do you think maybe LeBron sees that and says, hey, if overall our legacies include what happens while we're owners,
right? I
got an opening here for when I take over the Las Vegas. What did you guys call them? The Frontiersmen?
The Frontiersmen, the Astronauts. We'll think of some more great names for those teams as they it's called the Deserts, maybe the Desert Eagles. I don't know.
Desert Eagles, that's probably it.
I mean it's going to be really tough for LeBron to be a worse owner than that. Like this, what Michael Jordan has done, it feels like it is just a matter of these great, for whatever reason, with the exception of Larry Bird, who and Jerry West, but Larry Bird really, I feel like, never gets talked about in this. Great players just have a terrible sense of evaluating other people's talents. And I think we've talked about this in the past. I think it has something to do with the fact that things that come so naturally to them, others really struggle with. And if it doesn't, like, they just don't view the same skill sets as important as what I think they really are. Like, it's a really weird phenomenon, but for whatever reason, these superstar incredible athletes just can't evaluate not elite talent. It's really, really weird. Like LeBron wanting the Heat, begging them to draft Shabazz Napier when he was a part of their team. Like, just weird things like that, where it's just like, I don't see how somebody who's as great as you are doesn't see the game how normal people can see it.
Really. I could see how, to the point you just made, if LeBron does take over a team sometime and he's really a hands-on owner,
which he will,
might not go much better than things have gone for Michael Jordan based on his track record.
For sure. I mean, he's already pretty much run his teams before in the past, and some decisions, like, I think sometimes he has a good idea of what guys to bring in, but it's also how much do you value them? It's like, let's pay. Oh yeah, we'll just pay J.R. Smith X amount of dollars. We'll get Tristan Thompson this massive contract because he's my guy, instead of, well, what is Tristan Thompson going to do for us 3-4 years down the line? That seems to be the big disconnect for LeBron.
Yeah. So I got game ball, Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
Jordan under the team bus. You got a game ball for the winner of the British Open, Brian Harman.
I don't know if I got anybody to throw under the bus.
You're a nice guy.
I'm not a nice guy. Let me try and think of someone to throw under the bus.
That's nice. I think people appreciate
How
that.
about, I think
And Chris Watkins, good kid. He doesn't go out of his way to throw somebody under the team bus.
I would never. Oh, absolutely not. I would try and not ever throw somebody. I would like to think that I would not throw somebody under the bus. How about, well, this is not a happy story, but how about Dwight Howard, who was hoping to get a NBA contract, is allegedly being sued for sexual assault. That's not great. I mean, somebody who's we've heard here recently that Dwight wanted to get a contract with the Kings, has been trying
Lakers.
to
Now he's
Lakers as well. I saw a report 2 days ago that said that there was interest in the Lakers, and just throwing away his career. So Dwight Howard, goodbye. Didn't want him in Sacramento anyway, but bye Dwight Howard.
Meanwhile, there's another well, he's not a former King, but a former King that we're going to be talking about today. Apparently, all of a sudden, he looks to be at the end of his career, but a lot of teams are interested now. Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gay, out of nowhere. I mean, it's
like 5 teams have said, oh, yeah, we got to add Rudy Gay.
Don't know where that's coming from.
What year is it?
That's what I'm saying. It's like Rudy Gay all of a sudden is the most attractive free agent out there right now. He was cut from OKC after being traded from Utah and going everywhere. And I mean, now, I saw a lot of people clamoring this weekend to bring Rudy Gay back to Sacramento.
Hey,
interesting.
That's your big 3 right
here.
Interesting. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas is a free agent.
He is, yeah.
DeMarcus I know you were hanging out with DeMarcus this weekend.
Yeah.
Coming up next, as we mentioned, we know running backs are serious about getting paid now. They just had a Zoom meeting over the weekend. What was accomplished next with Watkins, Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives. At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, how young are the A's these days? Well, according to statistician David Feldman, when the A's took the field against the Red Sox on the 17th, in terms of games played in the big leagues, the A's lineup that night, which featured the likes of Tyler Soderstrom and Zach Geloff, was the least experienced since the A's played a game as the Philadelphia A's back in 1954. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Jimmy Garoppolo showed up at Raider camp, but Josh Jacobs was seen leaving Las Vegas on a flight this morning, according to Tom Pelissero, NFL Network. That, of course, is because the Raiders and Josh Jacobs are having a contract dispute, and it's not a surprise. Jacobs made it clear he was prepared to sit out training camp, but it's just the latest move in this ongoing saga this offseason between running backs who say they're worth more money and teams that disagree strongly and ain't willing to pay them.
Yeah, it's the cycle that keeps on happening. It's been trending this way for a couple of years now, but it feels like this is kind of this whole situation kind of coming to a head. It feels like with so many great, really, really solid free agent running backs available, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, all of these guys available and not being offered the contracts they feel like they deserve. Saquon Barkley, somebody who's super important to the Giants, getting franchise tag, and then Josh Jacobs, who led the league in rushing yards last year, getting franchise tag. Just kind of feels like this running back situation is finally kind of starting to become a big part of the football conversation, especially this offseason. And, we're about to talk about it, but it seems like the running backs are finally doing something to come together and actually try and do something about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much they can do here after they had a Zoom meeting to talk about the financial state of the position. Nick Chubb, he confirmed Sunday that he had participated in the call. He said, right now, there's really nothing we can do. We're kind of handcuffed with the situation. We're the only position that our production hurts us the most. If you go out there and you run for 2,000 yards with so many carries, the next year they're going to say, you're probably worn down.
Right.
So, normally it's like 2,000 yards, pay me.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, that probably took a toll.
Yeah.
It's a great year. Thanks. But we're not going to pay you more now because you're probably not as good as you were when you did that last year.
Exactly. I mean, odds are Josh Jacobs will probably never rush for as many yards as he did last season. So if you're a GM, you got to thinking that it's kind of like, well, why would I pay him? And it's what all GMs are supposed to do. Don't pay for past performance. You pay for future performance. And if you've peaked at a certain point and, running backs show to peak at a certain age, why would you pay somebody just because they had a good season for you?
That's why I said last week on Factor Fantasy, and I think I lost this episode.
Yes, sure.
I understand why it's hard for them, and I have sympathy, but bottom line, given the parameters that they are dealing with here, shut up and play.
I forgot you did say that. I mean, it's not.
Get the money you can get while you can get it.
I think I would say yell at how messed up it is in play.
Yes.
Just keep complaining and play.
Exactly. Right. They even said it too in the Zoom call. Like, I mean, JC Treader said last week that they should fake injuries. That's not helpful.
You're in favor of that now, are you?
No, I'm not. I think I agree with Chris, and what you should do is just continue to show your value, continue to show exactly how useful you are, and you could argue you can do that by not playing, but I think it could be by, you say just get your money and play. The problem is they don't ever get the money. Like they're only making really their rookie deals, and then a couple guys like Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, some of those guys are getting bigger second contracts, but for a majority of these guys, they're playing out their rookie deals. Maybe they'll have one good season, they'll franchise tag them, and then the next year they'll draft a new running back and bring him in.
That's true. The last time a running back signed a long-term deal worth $10 million or more per season was Chubb in 2021. His deal runs through the 2024 season. He has no guaranteed money after this season.
Yeah, and I mean, that's Nick Chubb, like probably the greatest actual running back that we have.
Some just ranked him. We're in the season of rankings, and some rank him number one running back in the NFL.
I think he is. I think he has been the last 2 or so years since Derrick Henry. I'm just talking running back, like as in the traditional get the ball, running the ball, not necessarily being a dual threat or anything like that. If guys like that can't get paid and can't get guarantees for the foreseeable future, I don't know what hope that all of the, the 24 other starting running backs really have. It feels like the NFL is probably just going to start really leaning into more of a committee system where there's no true lead back. There's more just a collection of running backs that have a collection of skills that you use given what play or what formation you're running.
There are 4 guys left making $12 million per year here, if I'm reading Albert Breer's column at SI.com correctly. So you got McCaffrey, you got Kamara, you got Derrick Henry, and you got Nick Chubb.
Right. Yeah, I forget about Alvin Kamara. Yeah.
And there's an agent quoted in this piece as saying, we don't know who it is, obviously. If you're deserving of more money and the team feels like you can get it, they're going to give it to you. Some running backs are considered by their teams to be difference makers more than they are running backs. Those guys get paid.
Yeah, and that's the thought I was just kind of having in my head is if you really wanted, if I could, for the sake of argument, go to the other side of this, there is an element of like running backs. Maybe if you were a little bit more versatile, like Christian McCaffrey, you could get paid as such. Like I think that just with how the NFL is run now, if you're a dual threat running back, you're incredibly valuable. Guys like Christian McCaffrey make sense in this NFL, and it makes sense to pay him a lot of money because he does bring value, not just as a traditional running back, but also you can use him in the slot. You can just, design run passes out of the backfield for him. He's just a lot more useful in terms of just, being out on the field for 3 downs. A lot of these guys like Derrick Henry, or a big problem with Dalvin Cook is they're not very useful in the pass game. And so if you have them out there, it's kind of a tell that you're going to run the ball or they're just going to be a useless decoy. And, if you make yourself more of a receiving back, I just think that makes your overall value a little bit more. It's like centers eventually had to adapt. They couldn't just continue to play in the post. They then had to learn how to play the 3-point game to be assimilated with how the game is played nowadays.
At first, I thought you were talking about football centers, and for a minute I was.
I'm sorry. Yeah, centers are taking field goals nowadays. Long snappers.
Possible solutions. Here's one on the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. And I don't want you to laugh at this because it's from the 707.
Okay.
Seat of all knowledge and wisdom.
Okay.
And whoever sent it, I wish they'd put the name on it, but they do say, this may sound dumb, but what if a team said, forget it, and signed the 4 best running backs available, lined them up on every play, which would be kind of like a single wing.
I mean, that would be an absolute, that would be awesome.
I think they're probably going to run the ball.
I think so. I think the problem is that these guys aren't just trying to, it's not that nobody wants them. It's not that nobody is offering them contracts. It's just, these guys feel like they're worth a certain dollar figure, and they understand that if once you accept a minimum contract, you're now viewed as a minimum contract player, and it's really hard to get out of that because, and it just depreciates the value. It's like, okay, if Leonard Fournette is going to sign for a minimum deal, Dalvin Cook can't then go ask for $5 million because people will say, well, the crop of guys you were just with is clearly worth a minimum. So why wouldn't I just offer somebody another minimum or slightly above the minimum if they're going to take it, because it's either that or don't have a job. Like, these guys don't really have leverage. It might get to that one point, but I just don't think anyone's willing to pay those 4 guys. It's a great idea to stick it to the man, but there's no way. There's no owner out there who's really trying to prove that.
When I played Pop Warner, we ran that single wing, and because then you'd have like 5 on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Then you have like 2 receivers and 4 guys back there. So some of those guys have to be really good blockers. Somebody has to throw the ball. So it's an interesting idea. Obviously, It wouldn't quite work, but I see where you're going there. 707. Thanks for checking in. Next time, put your name
on it, please.
Here's a suggestion. Somebody at Pro Football Talk, might have been Florio, who I think has a legal background. He said, look, here's what the players have to do. Like, next year, all the running backs have to get together and say, OTAs, we ain't going.
Interesting.
We're going to show you how you don't value us. So we're going to show you how valuable we are. Good luck running OTAs without any running backs.
A positional strike. I think the problem is that they'll find scabs. Like, they'll find people there will be undrafted guys. There's no way they can get every single running back to take part in that.
I would guess there'd be a good number of guys who would say, I'm not doing that.
There would be tons of guys who would take that opportunity and be like, this is my chance to be in the NFL. And something tells me the NFL, being the spiteful league that it is, I think that they would probably say, it's fine. We will actually show you exactly how unvaluable you are by
replacing
you with this undrafted free agent that, really was on our practice squad, but he's the one who's here. And so we'll show you that we can still win with him.
It is going to take something like that, though.
Something drastic.
I don't think anything like that is
maybe just running backs get the ball and take a knee. Every running back, just get the ball. Just be like, don't tell any of the coaches, but just a whole weekend of running backs.
I want to see that red zone when that happens.
Yeah, just get the ball, take the handoff, maybe get a toss, and then just collapse, just like potato sack down to the ground.
Yeah, that would work.
Make a statement.
That would be definitely making a statement.
Sometimes you gotta have a demonstration in order to get your point across.
I think this is the reality until the union is able to
absolutely
negotiate better terms with this particular position in mind.
I don't even know how they would do that.
Where we are.
Yeah, how do you say, like, okay, NFL, there is a minimum on how much you have to pay? Like, what? I don't even know when they get to the negotiation table. How can the union negotiate for one position in particular?
It's simple. I could explain it to you, but
totally. We have to break. Sorry.
It's really very simple.
Let's find out.
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry.
Taking time out.
That's on us.
We continue with the football conversation here. There's an ex-Ram with a supposedly bold take on the 49ers, but is his take really so bold? I don't think so. What do you think? We'll find out next. Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
So I'm a public school teacher and I'm on my feet all day long. That would be on concrete. The pain would shoot up my heels and just increased from the bottom of my feet up. Then my back started hurting. So my husband and I were driving and I went, oh, look, there's a Good Feet store. I'm greeted by this gal named Mercy. That was a perfect name for her. And the cool thing about the Good Feet store is that you're able to try before you buy. I had free fittings. She was able to fit me with special arch supports. And so I walked around in the store. Within 30 minutes, I started sobbing because I had no pain. Well, if your feet are hurting, do something about it. You don't have to grin and bear it. You need to go to the Good Feet store and get some arch supports. I'm Deidre, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
For over a decade, SimpliSafe has revolutionized home security, and our latest advancement is here, 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep, switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa"?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Enjoy the best that summertime has to offer with the River Cats Best of Summer 3-pack. Secure your tickets to 3 of the biggest games of the summer, including Marvel's Defenders of the Diamond Night, Logan Webb bobblehead giveaway night, and the 916 t-shirt giveaway game. Plus, you'll receive a limited release new era hat featuring the River Cats Marvelized logo. And each game will conclude with a post-game fireworks show. What are you waiting for? Make your plans to see the boys of summer in action and visit rivercats.com to purchase today.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry. Categories are filling up.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to be at training camp with the team this week. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fergoso's report on SactownSports.com. Buffalo Bills running back and kick returner Nyheim Hines has suffered a knee injury this weekend and is expected to miss the season. ESPN is reporting that Hines sustained the knee injury when he was struck by a jet ski and will require surgery. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Go, Jimmy, go. Jimmy G fan here. On the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Scott checking in. Hello, Scott. Scott says, if Jimmy makes the one throw or that D-back caught the interception in the same game, the narrative is completely different. The narrative is completely different on Jimmy G. Yeah, I mean, if he won a Super Bowl, a lot of the things people say about Jimmy, you just couldn't say anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
But he didn't.
I think people would still give him flack. I mean, no pun intended, but Joe Flacco is somebody who, has won the Super Bowl, but I think people still have a very strong opinion on, and I think rightfully so on that. But I think it would probably answer some questions. I wonder if Jimmy Garoppolo would still be a San Francisco 49er had he won said Super Bowl. It's interesting. I mean, a lot of the times it definitely would change the conversation a little. I don't know if it would change the narrative of him in total. I think it still would have been a 49ers win and had Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, almost like it was an added accomplishment, an added achievement, as opposed to, wow, Jimmy Garoppolo was a big piece of San Francisco winning that Super Bowl. I still think he probably gets talked about for his accuracy and his arm strength, and maybe some of his decision making isn't the best at times. I think people still would kind of have that narrative around him, but like Kirk pointed out, he would probably be talked about a lot more as a just overall winner, and I think that would probably carry a little bit more weight.
There was a period during 2019, and I know overall they had a great year and he had a great year, but early in the year he didn't start great, and it looked like he was developing yips working under Kyle Shanahan, and he kind of overcame that, but he would still have those every so often. And you go back and you probably remember him, and if not, you can look him up, where he would just, I remember against the Seahawks, he had one or two against Arizona at Levi's. He had one where it's just like, what was that throw?
Yeah. I mean,
the only person there was the linebacker for the other team. What's going on?
He definitely has some of those terrible throws, like some of those arm accuracy issues, and just a kind of overall arm strength issues at times. But yeah, I mean, he that's where he's not a perfect quarterback, and that's where it's not those are where the Jimmy Garoppolo questions really start to surface. I mean, the Super Bowl throw is kind of the highlight that plays through my head, and I'm sure 49ers fans' heads a lot when it comes to just who is Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback. It's tough to not just sum up and think about all of those, just like, what the heck was that kind of throws? He does have a propensity to throw one or two of those a game.
Jimmy no longer part of that Rams 49ers rivalry, which the 49ers have dominated. They've beaten the Rams 8 straight times during the regular season. Rams won the most sport game in recent memory, 2021 NFC Championship game.
That's a great game.
Andrew Whitworth, call Andrew Whitworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. Anyway, he did a sit down with great Matt Mayoko, and he said something that some are trying to frame as, that's a bold take. What do you think? Quote, I think as much as the bragging rights are for all the wins, I think if you ask any Niners player, in their heart, they'd much rather have that NFC Championship game than those other ones. Of course they would.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like, of course. Like, that brings you a lot closer to the Super Bowl win. And, I mean, winning 8 straight is fine and dandy, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really do you any good, whereas a playoff win does you a whole ton of good. And that would have put the Niners in the NFC Championship game, correct? Or was that to go to the Super Bowl? That was in the NFC.
Yeah, that was
to go to the Super Bowl.
And I think there's an effort here perhaps to frame this as if Whitworth's saying, neener, neener, neener. And no,
niner.
Yeah, what he's saying just makes absolute sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, that is not bold at all. Yes, the 49ers fans would absolutely much rather have a Super Bowl appearance than just 8 consecutive regular season wins. Like, that's all fine and dandy. And yeah, you can talk, like, you can throw that number out there and say we absolutely dominate the Rams, but it's the 72 win Bulls thing. If don't mean a thing if you don't get the ring. And 8 straight is perfectly fine, but you don't have a Super Bowl to show for it, and the Rams have a Super Bowl to show for it and a direct victory over you on said Super Bowl path.
Now, Whitworth says he does believe the Rams' previous struggles against the 49ers helped them win that NFC title game, which is, okay.
Sure.
I suppose so. But to me, what's more noteworthy here, because again, to me, it's like, I don't know how anyone could really dispute that. He talks about the problems the 49ers had with all of the problems the Rams had with all the 49er fans at SoFi.
Yeah.
Said when we got to the NFC Championship game and they were coming to town, I think we treated it as a given. They're going to have a ton of fans. It's going to be loud. We're going to prepare for the silent count the whole game, even though it's our home stadium.
Crazy.
And we're going to have to just deal with it. And whatever the circumstances are of the game, we're just going to have to overcome them. The 49ers faithful is special, man. They travel well. I've got to give it to them. I don't know if I've ever been on a silent count so many times in my career in my home stadium.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just there. I mean, yeah, he points out they travel everywhere. I remember there were scenes of the Niner fans out in Dallas taking over Jerry World, taking up pretty much 60-70% of that field or those stands. they show out. And I mean, it also speaks to SoFi Stadium and kind of like this new age of field where it's like, the Raiders, for the most part have a lot of Raider fans, but it's a place for traveling fans to go to visit. And we've talked about that with the A's situation as well. But SoFi is exactly the perfect place for this kind of thing to happen. Like, it's not that far for Niner fans to travel. There's already a good handful of Niner fans in LA already. That's a transplant town or transplant city. Like,
right.
It's, they can fill out that stadium every single time they play there. And, Niner fans are absolutely nuts, and they'll travel over there, and they really are a different breed. Like, they are a crazy, crazy fan base.
I think they're just better fans. I know the way the Rams tried to justify it is they tried to say, we've been gone for many years.
Sure.
And so we lost a couple generations or a generation or two.
Well, and all those Charger fans too.
Yeah. And so then, the 49ers, I mean, they have great fans. So we're still trying to ramp up to the point where we have those fans here who are as good as 49er fans are. But I think it's more cultural in terms of the city too. I just think the 49ers are always going to be embraced by San Francisco more than the LA Rams have ever or will ever be embraced by LA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though they've been to 2 Super Bowls since they've been back and they won one.
LA is
pretty good.
But LA is just not the Rams. It's not the Chargers either. Like, it's when I think of LA is it's the Raiders.
Wow.
Like, I think there's a lot more Raiders fans, and especially like in the culture of LA, like with what NWA did in their time in the 90s, like or 80s, a lot of people in that culture really love the Raiders, and the Raiders are their team. And that was the argument for moving the Raiders to Vegas was, it doesn't matter where the Raiders play. It's a brand. It's a logo. Like, people will follow that Raider brand no matter where they are. And that just wasn't there with the Rams. Like, when the Rams went over to St. Louis, I don't think anyone in LA really shed a tear. And when they came back, there was excitement for football to be back in LA, but I don't think people really cared if it was the Chargers, the Rams, whoever it was. If it wasn't the Raiders, they were never going to truly embrace them as their team. And I think the Rams have a decent fan base, but to your point, there's no passion there. There's no lifelong LA Ram fans. I don't think there's many. Maybe there's kids nowadays who are, of this Super Bowl era who might be real diehard Rams fans, but there's no adults out there who are going to spend their money on these tickets to especially when they're outpriced, or they're going to be bidding against other Niner fans. Like, there's no way that there's that kind of passion in LA.
The funny thing is after the Rams left, moved to St. Louis, and then the Raiders came back here, LA was an open market, and for a long time the league and owners would hold that over teams or cities.
Right. Say,
like,
we'll
if a
move
city,
there,
like if a city is like, we don't want to give you a new stadium, the NFL and the owners would say, okay, we're going to move to LA eventually. And they would hold that it really gave them leverage,
right? Until
it finally got to the point where they felt like, all right, we'll put 2 teams there. So they have 2 teams there after threatening other cities for years to move to LA. And now LA's like, especially the Chargers. That's an embarrassing situation.
Nobody cares about the Chargers. I mean, when they were playing in that soccer field, it was a joke. It was a joke. I mean, I don't know. They had like under 10,000 fans in there.
Yeah.
And 8,000 of them would be, especially when they played the Raiders, it would be packed with other teams. And it's an excuse for other people from Minnesota, Kansas City, wherever, Midwest, to travel to LA for the weekend and make a trip out of it. Again, kind of like what we talk about with Vegas. It's an excuse.
It's never a good idea to play an NFL game in front of in a 30,000 person stadium. It's even worse when that 30,000 person stadium has to get tarped off because they don't sell enough tickets.
Didn't they have one game their first year back where their kicker missed a kick that would have won the game?
Yes.
But they thought he made it, so they set off the fire.
Yes.
They set off the fireworks.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's not a good look.
It's not. I mean, but that is very LA football, especially for the Chargers. It's just like, I don't think anyone's really paying attention to what's going on. And even like the Chargers are a good team. Like, they've put out good products. The Rams, you said, like, they've made it to Super Bowl. And I don't think anybody cares. Like, I think if you go to LA right now and ask a big sports fan, the Chargers and the Raiders, or I'm sorry, the Chargers and the Rams are probably towards the bottom of the local teams they care about. Like,
do you think it's better for fan base in general here that you win, you go to a Super Bowl, you don't win it, then you finally win one, and then it gets to the point where you can't pay everybody? So like the Rams fell in hard times last year, and maybe hard times again. 49ers have been good every year. They haven't won anything yet.
Right.
Which is better from a fan standpoint?
Being good every year is nice. Being good every year, I think, like
even if
having
you never quite.
Bad football is tough to get up for. If you know that you're going to go like 5-13 or whatever in a season, it's just really tough on a weekly basis to try and convince yourself that I should tune in.
Even if you don't ever win, which hopefully the Niners will.
Right. Trust me, I know. This is a question built for
But if
me.
you have a shot, like every year you have a shot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great from a fan standpoint. It gets to be a little frustrating.
Sure.
Year after year, but you never know when that year is going to come.
Exactly. And I would much rather watch a good product and be able to convince myself than to just have absolutely no hope at all and feel hopeless. I mean, I've kind of been dealing with this for my entire, like the Vikings have always been good. They've never been great. They've obviously never won a Super Bowl. But on the other hand, I had the Kings that just never won anything. And it's always the debate, even with A's fans. It's like, would you rather make the playoffs every year and have no illusion that you're probably actually going to win the thing? Or would you rather just not even have the faith and just know what it is and year after year accept that it's probably not going to happen?
By the way, Dwayne Baker on the YouTube chat says, I saw a Raiders rain jacket and Raiders hat at the Open yesterday.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, and
Raiders have a following in England.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just it must just be the brand?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. It's just such like it's an iconic brand, and the Rams and the Chargers just never will.
Coming up next year, dear A-Rod, that's really bad example, bro. Next year, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
If you're ready for some leisure in your life, let me recommend El Macero Country Club, just 15 minutes from downtown Sacramento. Play our stunning championship golf course. Practice on our manicured short game facility. Cool off in our 50-meter swimming pool. Play tennis. Enjoy social events and mouth-watering dining options after a great day of play. We're now accepting new social and golf memberships for a limited time. Visit elmacerocc.org and put some leisure back in your life at El Macero Country Club.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
And on YouTube, those of you watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. Appreciate, however, you're playing along here, participating, listening, watching. Just saw Chris Watkins. Looked like he's working on his, is that a golf or a baseball?
It was golf.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been struggling with my hand placement on golf, and I'm trying to like get a good flow together with my hands. I just feel like every time I swing, I'm not like returning my hands back to where it is.
Oh,
and
really?
So I feel like it's causing my, like where I'm hitting the ball to kind of get messed up. Loser.
PGA Tour professional David Sutherland one time told me when you swing, it's kind of like you're swinging along the first baseline. So it's not like you swing straight across your body.
Yeah.
You swing out
Almost,
a little bit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you don't like baseball, so that would make no sense to you.
But see, what you just gave me was a good, like I can visualize what you're saying, and I absolutely understand it. That's a really good teaching vocabulary that you use there, and I can really perfectly imagine what you're saying, and I will try and replicate that.
You have to put it in softball terms.
Exactly.
You like softball.
Terms. Thank you. Yes, first base lines exist in softball, so yeah, I got you.
I didn't witness this, but I was told this happened. We had a station tournament for this station, and David was playing, I think, with my brother, and there was some other guy playing with him, and the guy was like just brutal. He couldn't do anything, and David is, he's Sac State women's golf coach. He's won on the PGA Tour. Great guy. So he and his brother Kevin. So anyway, David sees the guy and he's working on things. And then finally David says, again, I didn't see this, but I've been told. He says, hey, I don't think you're left-handed. Here, try this. And the guy starts striping it.
Oh, my God.
He turns around and he starts hitting it well.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
How do you not know? Like, I have a couple friends who are pretty ambidextrous. And I have one friend who is just out of this world. He writes right-handed, but he bats left-handed. And he shoots left-handed, but he'll bowl right-hand, just all over the place. But I don't understand how do you just not know what hand? Ben Simmons allegedly shoots with the wrong hand free throws. I think Mason Plumlee does this. I just don't understand.
He switched, didn't he? Yeah.
How you don't
I think
know that.
The only way that could happen that off the top of my head is hey, I'm in this tournament. I don't play golf that much. I borrowed somebody's clubs and I didn't know, and they're left-handed.
So I just did it. I just had to play. And
and it's really hard. And then someone gave me right-handed clubs, and that's what I'm used to doing.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't be me. I'm right-handed everything. I wish I could be left. Lefties look so good doing everything. You mentioned Brian Harmon, being a lefty golfer. If I those swings look so much better.
The weirdest thing.
Lefty jump shots look so much better.
Yeah.
It's just everything about it. I don't know, maybe if it's just the mirrored aspect of it for some reason just looks unique to us.
It's got to be left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
But when people talk about the greatest swings in baseball history, which again, I know you don't care, which is fine.
A little bit. I care a little bit.
Very rarely, if ever, do they talk about a right-handed hitter.
Oh, yeah.
It's always, or even a left-handed pitcher with, that beautiful delivery.
Right. Yeah.
So lefties, man.
Griffey was right-handed.
No.
Left-handed? Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Beautiful swing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then with baseball players too, there's right-handed players, and especially the guys whose dads played, a lot of them will teach themselves how to swing left-handed though, right?
I think so.
They'll be right-handed but swing left. See, I wish I just cannot get my brain like that. I really wish I could. I'm very envious of all lefties just because, again, it just looks so natural. It looks smooth.
I had to learn to hit left-handed because I played a lot of wiffle ball. And if you know anything about wiffle ball, it's
just
if you don't learn to switch, you're doomed.
Right, you're doomed.
My left-handed swing to this day, such as it is, way better than my right hand.
Really? Yeah. Oh, you got it to the point
way better.
Oh, so you were playing a lot of wiffle
to the
ball.
point where it's why am I hitting it like that on this side? And you're trying to figure it out. It's
that's crazy. Yeah. See, I got to get on that. I got to get on that hive immediately. Actually.
Anyway, you reminded me a little bit of something that A-Rod was doing last night. This is curious. A-Rod is he's on that K-Rod cast, Sunday Night Baseball. So, you watch Monday Night Football, you can watch Monday Night Football, or you can watch the Manning cast. If you watch Sunday Night Baseball, you can either watch the game or you can watch the K-Rod cast with Michael K. and K-Rod.
No thanks.
Offering a different look at the game. Well, I didn't even finish, and you said
with A-Rod? No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it.
You don't like A-Rod?
No.
So last night, Mets and Red Sox are playing, and Rodriguez was giving a hitting tip, and it looked, Chris, like he was talking about either how to hit down on a low pitch or maybe how to hit the ball, chop one off the ground. I don't know. But here this is A-Rod explaining, and just listen to the choice of words here, as he explains how to kind of swing down on a low pitch.
Posture up and right down. You can't get in trouble. It's like you're punching a little person, right? With your right hand. It's going boom right there. With that knee down, and now you're on top of the baseball.
Can you play it one more time when you get a chance, Chris, please?
Posture up and right down. You can't get in trouble. It's like you're punching a little person. Right? With your right hand. It's going boom. Right?
Yeah.
Why is that where your mind goes?
Yeah. It's again, like you're punching a little person.
Like I said, when you were describing to me, I could visualize perfect everything. I'm like, yes, I've done that before. I've seen that hitting down the first base line every time. Sure. Punching. Why is that where your brain goes? It's like instantly it's just okay.
I don't know.
So when I like to hit, I like to imagine a little person right in front of me, about 5'5", maybe a little bit shorter, 5'3", and just knocking apple off. Just
smoke
right in between the eyes, just boom, and that's perfect form.
That would be like a golf swing. It's like you're taking the head off a squirrel.
Exactly.
You just wouldn't ever say that.
It's like if your little 3-year-old child is hanging onto your leg and you're just slapping them off.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just slapping that kid right upside the head.
No, he has to knowledge no history of anything like
Sure,
that. No history
sure,
of anything
yeah,
like that. I know, but it's
history
just
of-
gotta wait, what? When I saw that, I was like, what? At the same time, as I tweeted, if you'd told me that a baseball announcer said that, guess which one? I think I would have come up with it.
I think Alex Rodriguez would have been guess 1, 2, and probably 3. Maybe Poppy 3rd, I would have guessed. But just, I mean, that's just absolutely insane. And like, just why is that where your brain goes? Like I was telling you before,
Michael K standing there and he asked like, okay, I'm just gonna nod and just pretend I didn't hear any of that, and we'll just move on.
Just keep it pushing. That's exactly what you have to do in that situation. You just like, I'm gonna act like he did not just say to assault a at least he called them a little person. At least A-Rod had the sensitivity.
I wonder if he was going to use like
full slurs out there.
Yeah, like a term that you don't use anymore.
Or maybe even a kid. Like, you got like a toddler.
Maybe that, yeah. I guess he did say little person. He didn't necessarily. I guess he could have been referring to a child. It'd be a weird way of referring to a child, but
yeah. As bad as that was, I guess it could have been worse.
Why can't you just say like a folding chair or something? Just like act. For all you kids out there, just something you guys can all do. Just get out a little folding chair and just swing above the chair. That's like actual helpful instruction instead of assault.
Again, it's another
Punching
reminder
too,
why Anthony Edwards is my favorite player of all time.
Yes.
Because when A-Rod bought the team and they told him A-Rod bought the team, he said, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's like, he's going to be a big fan of mine. Can't wait because I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know who that is.
Love that.
If that would bother anybody in the world. A-Rod's like, what? How does he not know who I am?
I bet A-Rod probably like jokes about it all the time with him, but like that not sarcastic, but like passive aggressive, like, you know who I am now, huh?
And then you told me last week, A-Rod apparently knows a thing or two about basketball.
Allegedly, yeah. I think when we were talking about some of the greatest two-sport athletes of all time, I think someone told us that.
Yeah, he was a really good high school basketball player.
That's crazy. There's no way I can see that because, I think what sparked it as well is we saw a video of A-Rod airing like 5 straight shots.
You think he ever passed the ball?
No. Oh, there is no way Alex Rodriguez was a team player.
He's a smart guy. He's
definitely a shooting guard.
Distributor. They probably run the offense through him.
No chance.
Making sure everybody's happy.
No contact.
Everybody's getting their sugar.
I'm guessing he was like a Westbrook type of assist maker where he's keeping his numbers in his head.
I wonder. I really
and getting really
out.
upset when someone misses the shot.
Yes.
I wonder if there's any way to find that out. I really want to know what kind
his
of
high school
basketball
numbers
player A-Rod was. If he was just like,
there's no
get
way
out of
he
my
was
way.
driving. There's no way he was driving the paint. There's no way he was taking contact. Absolutely no way.
Speaking of the Minnesota Timberwolves and who's not talking about them these days, I'll bet you didn't know that this Minnesota Timberwolf was Chinese, but it turns out he is now. And that story's next with Whitey and Watkins. Where else but right here on Sactown Sports?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
If Keegan Murray is able to make anything close to the jump people are talking about, and the Kings go out, whether it's this year or next year, and get there again, they're Aaron Gordon, Draymond Green, whatever defensive stopper, and the following year they stay relatively healthy, they're going to win the title. They're going to win a championship. And I'm saying that matter of factly. Like there's no question in my mind that's not hyperbole, and I'm the pessimist.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Shop end-of-season deals during the Truckload event at Lowe's. Right now, save on major appliances and get an additional 10% off in-store clearance appliances. Plus, take up to 50% off select patio furniture and accessories, and save on select grills and outdoor power equipment. Great deals are happening now, in-store and online. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/26. Exclusions apply. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
Kenny and Gary here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rolado with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team this week. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fragoso's report on SactownSports.com. Buffalo Bills running back and kick returner Nyheim Hines has suffered a knee injury this weekend, is expected to miss the season. ESPN is reporting that Hines sustained a knee injury when he was struck by a jet ski and will require surgery. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Chris, I know you're not a huge baseball fan, but you know baseball's about all that's going on right now. We do have the Women's World Cup. U.S. doesn't play for a while here. I just happened to look at this date in sports history, and a couple of things jumped out here baseball-wise. A couple of things before we get to the Minnesota Timberwolf, who is now Chinese, apparently. Players tend to go berserk on this date in history. Maybe it's because it's so hot. This date, 1983, so what, 40 years ago? That's the anniversary of the George Brett Pine Tar game, where he hit a home run, a go-ahead homer at Yankee Stadium, and then the umpires inspected the bat and said, you're out. There's too much pine tar. And he went absolutely nuts, like no other player I've ever seen in any sport ever.
Iconic. I mean, just that's the only word to think about. The run out from the dug, like from the moment that I would love to see like a clock timer to see exactly, or a stopwatch to see
clock timer.
Clock timer. Yeah, that's what everybody calls it. A stopwatch to see the time in which the ump looks over to Brett, calls him out, to the time that Brett is at the home plate ready to rip his. I don't even know what his intention was at that time. I don't know if he was just going to yell. He was being choked out.
Yeah, choking him from behind to keep him from killing somebody, because they went from home run ninth inning to give us a 5-4 lead to no, you're out and you lose the game, which later they actually overturned.
Crazy.
And the Royals did end up winning that game, which is funny to think. How would they handle that now? I have no idea.
So they overturned the result?
Yes.
They didn't replay it.
The
They
league
just said
office, which now you don't have a league office. You just have one Major League Baseball. They said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're not going to call that rule. So it stands. They replayed the game from that point, counting the home run, and the Yankees won.
There you go. Well, the Royals won.
Yes,
Royals
pardon
won,
me.
yes.
Thank you. The Royals ended up winning that game.
Well, that's just at least, I don't. It must have been a real because I assume they only played one out then, which is super weird because or two. The
Yankees had to bat in the bottom of the
right,
inning.
there you go.
But just saying now with the legal wagering and stuff.
Yeah, there's
how
no way.
complicated that would be.
This would literally be talked about for probably a week. Like we would probably talk about this the remainder of this week. Just what should they do? How could they let this happen? Was he right? How are they? Just everything. We would be analyzing every single angle of this if this happened now. And he probably would have been suspended also just for running out at the umpires the way he did. But it led to one of the most classic moments, maybe in baseball history. I would say.
I got the answer to your question, Chris, on how fast it took George Brett from being called out.
I'm so glad someone's done
to
this.
get to the umpire using my clock timer.
Okay. Yes, using your clock timer. Thank you.
How quickly do you think he did?
It's got to be under. It's definitely under 3 seconds.
3.8 seconds.
3.55 seconds.
Oh, that is lightning.
From being called out to being in front of the umpire. And yet he didn't go through the umpire. He had to slow up to stop in front of him.
He was in the dugout sitting down, right?
Sitting down,
from sit down to in front of the umpire in 3.5 seconds.
His anger kicked in that quickly, and he was hauling to the umpire. Just incredible.
Real quick, two other ones. I'll ask you, Chris, for luck because I think Chris Watkins knows this. 1958, Ted Williams was fined $250 for doing what again? And it involved Red Sox fans for doing what again?
1958.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess arguing with the fans.
Spitting at a fan. Yeah. $250 for spitting at fans again. And then in 1993, Vince Coleman of the Mets injured 3 when he threw what at Dodger fans?
I would assume a bat.
A cherry bomb.
I'm sorry?
A cherry bomb?
Yes. I think it might have been after the game in the parking lot or something.
Oh, okay. I was like, he just had one on him just in case.
He didn't have a great arm, so it could have been worse. But yeah, it's funny. I was just looking up this day. It's like, oh my goodness.
It has to be something about the weather. It's got to just bring
fingers
something.
crossed that we don't have any such incidents today.
Hopefully not.
In Major League Baseball.
Yeah, who would be your prime candidate?
And I think I remember that. I still had to read it like 3 times. Wait, he threw a cherry bomb?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's what year was that?
That was 93.
Oh, okay. So that was the most recent of all. Okay.
Yeah, that was only 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
No one talks about that. They talk about George Brett.
I would say we're most likely going to get some Josh Donaldson would be my pick for something absolutely reckless to happen to a player. I'm going to pick Josh Donaldson.
I could see him if he got called out in Pine Tar. He would do very much what George Brett did.
Very much
Very similar look on his face, too.
Yeah, very much so. Similar anger.
So, fingers crossed. I know
hopefully
the Giants, I think, have a makeup game today.
I might kind of actually be, fingers crossed, hoping for that. That's a lot more interesting than some baseball games.
Yeah, so that surprised me, and this surprised me too. Kyle Anderson has obtained Chinese citizenship.
Slow-mo.
Through naturalization. So 29-year-old forward from New York is the latest elite athlete to gain Chinese nationality through naturalization. So obtained nationality this morning, and after obtaining the nationality, which I think this allows him to play for China in the World Cup.
What?
After he obtained Chinese nationality, he met with, of course, Yao Ming.
The ambassador of Chinese basketball.
Yeah, so he's ready to play for China now.
Great.
Chinese media reported that Anderson's maternal grandmother was born in Jamaica to a Jamaican mother and a Chinese father.
There you go. Okay, so you just have to go way down the family tree there to equal. Okay, his great grandfather was possibly Chinese,
according to Chinese media.
Of course,
and who's going to question Chinese media?
Nobody ever. Why would you do that?
Yeah, China had previously announced, an 18-man squad for the World Cup, but FIBA said the final rosters will be confirmed only after a technical meeting that is set to take place before the start of the tournament. So this is
someone's getting kicked off. Someone's
yeah,
kicked off that team.
Yeah, some Chinese guy, Wang Zhizhi or somebody, off to play one-on-one with Kyle Anderson.
There you go.
Other athletes who were naturalized include several Brazilians who moved to China in the hopes of playing international football or soccer. So
they're having a wait. So their basketball team is going to be full of soccer players? Is what you're saying?
No. This is to play
that's
soccer.
A different case.
Yeah,
okay, I was
international
like,
soccer.
well, that's a bold strategy, but I guess if your talent pool isn't good enough, I guess any athlete is better than no athlete. But
it is unclear if Anderson and the others have renounced their original nationality. China, according to ESPN and Reuters, has strict rules that usually prevent dual nationality.
Interesting.
So usually in China, it's like, you want to be a Chinese citizen? Fine. You're not going to be a citizen of any other country.
Yeah, you got to give up your stars.
Well, then fine. I won't play in the World Cup.
So this may help you, because when you're watching World Cup, everyone's going to go, watching China, they're going to go, what? Is that Kyle? Is that Kyle Anderson?
Kyle,
that looks like
Kyle Anderson?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's him.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's an interesting player. I would assume that this is probably more for marketing and branding. Like, Kyle Anderson is definitely never making Team USA. And so I guess this is his, if he was really passionate for some reason about playing international basketball, this is going to be a good path for him. And again, like, I'm sure he'll make a good handful of dollars with this changing of nationality.
Do you think A-Rod's okay with it though?
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I wonder if I don't think they care. I don't really think that they even know who A-Rod. I don't think any of them know who A-Rod is.
My nephew, who played Phantoms Boy, Zach, he played a little a Division II or Division III. He's a really good basketball player. He was at a Kings game once. Was it the Spurs? Kyle Anderson was on the other team. And he was like, hey, Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson looked and said, you can't shoot. And I guess Kyle Anderson didn't appreciate it.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, man. Even like if kids are yelling at you, like you can't shoot, you can't dribble, you suck. I'm like, dang, man.
Yeah.
I get it
Kyle
from
Anderson
adults,
said,
but like,
oh, yeah? Take it up with Yao Ming.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, he's my boss now. He's the only one I answer to.
Up next here, we've been talking a lot about how NFL teams they're wearing a lot of throwbacks, and some of them are pretty cool. Tell you why the Titans' new throwbacks, they are cool, but they're also very insulting. Next year on Sactown Sports with Watkins and Whitey.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis, and leads Gobert. Nice draw, two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Hey, what's the deal with the next segment here? YouTube. I know we have a wonderful segment again. Then we go to commercial break. But if you're watching on YouTube,
we're going to stay live.
What?
We're staying live.
Wow.
Staying live and local.
All right.
Immediately after this segment's over, instead of going to commercials and hearing about Gray team not playing defense and all that stuff, get to hear me and Whitey keep the conversation going and engage with the YouTube chat. So if you're not over there, be sure to head on over to youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 and hop in the chat before this next break.
Got any questions for us?
Yes.
Chris would love to answer
any of them.
Any questions? Any really personal stuff about Chris?
Yeah.
Just let them fly.
Maybe I'll reveal what I was doing this weekend and who I saw. Maybe who I saw this weekend. There was and we can get the rumor mill going. I didn't put it out on Twitter. Yeah.
It was a good rumor.
It was, yeah. I mean, I told it to Frankie. Frankie was honestly kind of upset at me about not putting it out on Twitter. So I told him I would save it for today. So now seems like a good time, or during the break seems like a good time to reveal it to those who really tune into us.
Seriously, if it was me, I would have had pictures. Did you have pictures?
I tried to get pictures because I'm the first one to say, if you don't have photo or video evidence, it didn't happen. And I wasn't able to grab a picture or video, but I promise you that I definitely am not lying.
Stick around to find out. It's definitely worth
it's something.
sticking around.
It's definitely something. I mean, it definitely could have. If I would have,
it's not like he ran into Carmichael Dave.
No,
Burger King. No,
please, no. That would have been noteworthy because that would have meant he left his house. Anyway, sorry.
He wouldn't have taken a picture with you either.
No, there's no way. No, this definitely would have been. I could have, I could have made headlines this weekend by breaking this news.
You still may.
My
young friend.
I just wanted to save it for the show. That's what I've been told early in this industry is save your best content for the show, and
then we'll have that on the other side for those of you. Well, I can't watch YouTube. Don't worry, we'll have
we'll talk about it.
On the other side. Yes. A moment ago, we were talking about Kyle Anderson of the Chinese national team, and I mentioned Yao Ming. He met with Yao Ming, and I started singing the Yao Ming song. For those who haven't heard, in 2003. When Yao Ming was drafted by the Rockets, the Yao Ming song actually became a hit in Houston. It was written by Chance McClain, a real estate appraiser, and Kevin Ryan, a graphic artist. And they grew up together in Houston. And so this was the Yao Ming song. And I'm not kidding. 2003, this was a big hit in Houston. There you go. That's the song.
Awesome.
I guess the first verse
is awesome.
It's about the days when Hakeem Olajuwon led the Rockets to
sure.
consecutive titles.
You
and
can
then-
hear it. Hakeem,
Yeah,
Hakeem,
maybe,
Hakeem.
yeah.
I've been saying this. We need to get like a light the beam chant like that. Like a light the beam, the beam, the beam. I just think it would be great if we did chants as well. Like if we can make our crowd truly like unique, a special experience, and like almost like a soccer team, or like, we saw how European basketball goes absolutely ballistic during their games. I think if we can bring that to the NBA,
the beam. Light the beam,
Yes.
the beam.
And we need to find some purple flares and light them up in the crowd.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, absolutely. And if the team is getting killed, we need to throw some what
you
are
can do
those
that.
bombs
Light
out
the
up there.
beam, the beam, the beam, the beam,
Stop
the
the
beam,
game.
the beam.
Let's do it.
Light the beam, the beam, the beam.
Writes itself, man. It'll come by the beginning of the year. We'll try and get
I got an
something.
idea.
Yes, absolutely. We'll try and get something.
Plenty
on
of time to
record.
get that together.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the resources too. I mean, you've got tons of beautiful tracks out there that are worthy of seeing the spotlight. My girlfriend writes music.
Your
Maybe
girlfriend,
you
I
guys
think
can
she's gonna probably
collab.
have to carry
Maybe
a heavy load going forward
it's fine.
musically.
No, we can collab. I can make the music video.
Speaking
Chris
of
can produce it.
Yeah, look forward to that. We definitely have
Got the resources.
a promising situation there.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans are going to wear throwbacks this year. We know the Seahawks are wearing throwbacks. The NFL a couple years ago adopted a new rule that allows players to wear more than one helmet. So before, players could only wear one helmet for safety reasons. Now they can wear more than one helmet. So teams realize, all right, well, one of the helmets can be throwback. So we're seeing a new era of throwback uniforms ushered in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
Mostly
better,
it's
I
interesting.
think.
The Colts it's not a throwback. It's the Indiana Knights
Terrible.
helmets and jerseys, but
Horrible.
The Titans are going to wear, at least a couple games next year, Houston Oilers uniforms.
The best
The
uniforms
blue.
in football.
Yeah. Now, when they first moved from Houston to Tennessee, they were the Tennessee Oilers for a couple years. So in a way, it's like, okay, it's the throwback to the Tennessee Oilers, but the Tennessee Oilers only wore white at home. They never wore the blue, and they're going to be wearing those blue, Warren Moon blue, I'll call it,
the iconic
uniforms.
Yes, I think that they're the best. They are incredible. They look so good. We talked last week. I mean, I think baby blue looks awesome. Like it might not be the most intimidating thing, but you just look so sleek out there. And I don't know what it is about the baby blue, the white and the red, but it just looks so perfect.
White helmet with the oil derrick on the side, right?
Yep. Yeah, got it on both sides. I thought it was only on one side at first, but they got the oil rig on, or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's an oil derrick, I think.
Derrick. Okay, sure. An oil derrick on both sides of the helmet, but it looks beautiful. Like I can't wait for these to be brought back. And I might even have to buy a Titans jersey in this, because these are like my favorite jerseys, I think, of all time of any sport.
Player of the past would you go with?
Earl Campbell or Warren Moon, definitely. Warren Moon, I at least have the Vikings connection, but Earl Campbell's just, I mean, I love the highlight of him literally shoving his helmet into someone's chest and just sending them like 5 yards back. Like he's just punching a little person, just punching a little person. Earl Campbell did the exact same right into somebody's chest.
They had
that
a
was
double zero. Was it Kenny Burrow? They had a double zero. It was really cool.
Double zero is a great number.
Is that what it was?
Not enough football guys are wearing double zero. That would be
and
my
they had
first
Billy
thing.
White Shoes Johnson was really cool too.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Name.
Here's the thing though. If I'm a fan of the Houston Oilers and I'm from Houston, like the Yao Ming guys,
right?
I don't like this. It would be to me like if the A's moved to Vegas, which I still hope doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then they were wearing Oakland A's throwbacks in Vegas. If I'm an Oakland A's fan, it's like, I wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that until I saw it on the rundown earlier. Because, the Kings have worn Cincinnati Royals and Kansas City.
I didn't really like that.
And I'm
either
like,
much.
I just never really
good.
thought about it much. But then that made me think, okay, well, if the Kings would have been sold to Seattle, and then we see 10 years down the line the Seattle Supersonics wearing throwback Kings jerseys, it would have caused a massive uproar here. People would, how dare you first take our team and then stomp on the grave and all of this. But, that's kind of how it works. Like, that's how history works. History is told by the victors, and you'll wear other people's flags and all that stuff because it's yours now. And, they're just trying to sell jerseys. They don't really care about people's emotions, but there is something to it. Like in Vegas, like you said, if Vegas wears some Oakland throwbacks,
like if they wore the old
years,
Oakland A's 1968 vests,
yes,
I would go ballistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd go George Brett.
I probably would too. I mean, if I really cared about I probably would too. Like, I think it is really something that I've just never really given it much thought, but it is kind of disrespectful to the other but like people in the other cities, there's no way they're like, oh, those are the good old days. It's just good to see that jersey back in circulation. No, they're like, no, this is just a direct reminder of when you took this from us, you colonizer.
Of course, they don't care because they hear Chris Watkins say, I'm going to have to buy a jersey now.
That's all they care
about.
That's really all they care about. And I'm a sucker. I mean, they're beautiful jerseys.
Do you have any idea why this would be? I don't have any idea. In the NFL, we're seeing more and more throwbacks, right? In the NBA, when it's time for an alternate jersey, they just make up a new one.
Yes, right.
Which, yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
I would rather see reinventions of current logos than all the throwbacks, I think.
Well, Whitey, I mean, like, that's just, unfortunately, it's not just jerseys, but like movies. I think we're just out of new ideas. I think.
But in the NBA, they're wearing like, this is our new
they look terrible,
City Edition or whatever.
I think it's just a lot tougher to get those jerseys sold. Like, I'm never buying that baby blue Kings or the red Kings jersey,
right.
but I'm a lot more
likely
likely.
Audience for the throwback.
Exactly. Like, if the Kings release those early 2000s jerseys, I'm buying those in every single color and every single jersey and every single player I can. I think they're just going for the nostalgia berries there.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right. So you probably can't wait to get the Tampa
Can't
Bay
wait.
creamsicle.
Oh
jersey.
my gosh, those creamsicles are just as iconic too. They're not nearly as good, but equally as iconic.
Coming up, the NBA player who says Dame Lillard's trade request. Dame Lillard's trade request is bad for the NBA. We'll also tell you who Chris Watkins hung out with this week. And those of you on YouTube, we're going to have that for you right away coming up here. It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
All right, ladies
and
and
gentlemen. What do you think
gentlemen.
Chris Watkins was hanging out with on the YouTube chat?
This weekend, it was I was celebrating my girlfriend's birthday, so we were doing a staycation here in Sacramento because, long story short, we wanted to go to Monterey. Monterey's too expensive. We settled for Sacramento. And
cooler.
It would have been a lot cooler in multiple ways. And we stayed at the Sawyer, the Kimpton Sawyer on Saturday.
Very nice, though. Very nice.
Very, very nice hotel. And in the lobby, I saw one former Sacramento King, DeMarcus Cousins.
What?
Just hanging out in the yeah. That's kind of what I was like, oh. Was kind of the last person I was expecting to see in town. There was no events going on, no nothing. He definitely could have been very innocent, just maybe visiting some old friends. I think I haven't seen his brother in a really long time, so I can't remember exactly what he looks like, but I'm pretty sure he was hanging around with his brother, but they were in the Sawyer, saw him in the lobby a couple times, was going in and out of the lobby. Got in a car, saw him entering McCooney's actually super randomly as I was heading back to the hotel. I saw him entering McCooney's.
Which McCooney's?
At around like 9:30 downtown. So, and then I saw him returning back to the Sawyer at around 11. So, I mean, he was there all day hanging around. Don't know if, I haven't heard any whispers or anything about, him having any interest in coming back. I didn't see any reports this weekend.
You didn't get your phone out. Like, hi, DeMarcus,
real quick. Yeah.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
I should have TMZ'd him right there. He probably would have actually liked it. I think it was strange because, I mean, he was to a certain level just kind of hanging out in the lobby. And it was, for those who have stayed at the Sawyer, they have like this weird happy hour and they give out drinks. And it was during that hour. So it's the most populated time in the lobby. And he's just kind of moseying around, not really hanging out, just kind of definitely going somewhere, but just in between. But yeah, he was just hanging out in the lobby, saw him this weekend, and I'm not reporting anything, not saying he's meeting with the team or
But you're not saying he's not.
I'm not saying he's not, though.
He's
probably not. I would assume not, but still thought it was strange to see him in town just with no real links to Sacramento really anymore. So
would you even work him out? I mean, would you have any interest in DeMarcus Cousins in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think so. I just don't think anything that he would bring, like nothing about his play style is necessarily what the Kings need this season. I mean, how much we've talked endlessly about how they actually need defense. I would not helping on that side.
I would work him out if it would help him. If, I talked to his agent, I don't even know who his agent is now. And I would say, hey, we don't have a roster spot, but if it helps you get another workout with
Publicity-wise.
somebody else just to say that you worked out here, we can.
It's a good gesture. It's a really good gesture if they were to do that. I
then you
agree,
never
yeah.
know what you see, and maybe
Right, exactly. Yeah, maybe you do see, and it doesn't have to be for now. Again, what if worst case scenario, somebody goes down, and you're like, we saw DeMarcus earlier in the season. He does look like he's in excellent shape. Looked really, really thin. Doesn't really have like those bulking shoulders anymore, and he's always kind of brought his weight down and down throughout the years. But he looks like he's in great shape. Don't know physically how well he can move, but I think he's somebody who he can provide something. I mean, the dude is so skilled and talented. I think there's something there, but it's just got to be the right kind of team situation to where it's almost like Russell Westbrook, where it's like he's got something there, but in order for him to be him, you got to kind of cater a lot to him.
Do you remember when they brought him here for a pre-draft workout, who he worked out against? I remember I was there, and then, they have the place shut off, and then they bring you in to talk to him. It was Derek Favors. Derek Favors and DeMarcus worked out.
Wow.
At
I
the
bet
same
he
time.
dominated Derek.
I think so. Interesting news from Chris Watkins. Those of you on YouTube already have the scoop here, such as it is. So who are you hanging out with this weekend besides your girlfriend?
Besides my girlfriend, had a lovely staycation in Sacramento this weekend.
Very nice gesture.
Yes, I thought so,
nicer than copying a book and giving it to her and finding out, oh, that's not the book I wanted.
Had to make up for that. Definitely had to make up for that.
I think that helped was that, we are also going to the Sawyer. It's
exactly.
just not the book.
Yes, exactly. It's like, well, the book is actually just a primer for,
yeah,
you were supposed to read the book at the hotel swimming pool. So yeah, we stayed at the Sawyer this weekend, and at the Sawyer in the lobby, very public, just kind of standing about. And I saw him walking around town a couple times. DeMarcus Cousins was in Sacramento over the weekend.
Big Cuz.
Yeah. Did not see him enter Golden One Center. Don't think he worked out or did anything. Not saying he didn't, but didn't seem like he was doing that at all, especially not on Saturday when I saw him.
I guess he would have many reasons to come to Sacramento besides potentially working out for the team.
Right. You can go look at that beautiful piglet statue out there. There's tons of tourist attractions. The Railroad Museum, I'm sure he's very interested in.
You did say he went to McCooney's.
He did go to McCooney's.
There is a roll named after him.
DMC roll.
Maybe he's just hungry and said, hey, give me a couple.
What's in it? Do you know?
No clue.
I think it's like a lobster
I'll look it up.
roll.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pretty pricey.
It is. I think it's actually the most expensive roll on the menu. There is also a fox roll as well. It's $26. It's got tempura lobster, avocado, crab mix, white tuna, sauce torched tempura bites. DMC roll from McCooney's. But yeah,
good.
Yeah, sounds great. I'm actually allergic to crab, so I can't have it. Lobster too.
I'll have yours.
Yeah.
We went to McCooney a couple weekends ago at the Fountains, and my brother and I ordered. I forget the name of it, but it was Bob. It's called. I don't know why it's called the Bob roll, and it had salmon and it had other things, but it had cream cheese and some other things.
Yeah.
And my wife who's from Okinawa. She's like, oh, boy, I don't know about that. But when they brought it, guess who liked it? Guess who had to say that Bob roll's pretty good. Yeah.
The Bob roll's pretty decent. That's like right up my alley. I can do all salmon rolls, and cream cheese I'm pretty hit or miss on, so I understand where she's coming from there, but it does work. It really does work on
it's
sushi.
Good to be cautious, but
yes,
definitely
absolutely.
It's a score.
Anytime cream cheese is involved, it is very, very smart to walk in cautiously, but yeah, it works really well on sushi. But so DeMarcus Cousins was in Sacramento this weekend. Don't know if he had any agenda while he was here, but seemed to at least be enjoying the town on Saturday. And, he was back in the hotel at a responsible hour as well. So it didn't seem like he was partying it up or anything.
Were you even tempted to go up to him with your phone?
Not even a little bit.
Hey, big fella. Hey, cuz. Hey, Boogie. Chris Watkins, Sactown Sports. Hey, what are you doing here?
See.
And then you make what about this report?
Yeah, exactly. What about this report?
You're working out with the Kings.
Yeah, that's how the pros do it. See, that's like capital J journalists. That's like, I'll save that for like Jason Anderson, Sean Cunningham can do that kind of stuff, but like none of that. Maybe in the future, who knows? But right now,
put these rumors aside. When did you start working out with the Kings?
See, yeah,
it's not me who's saying it. It's just I'm hearing that I'm saying this. That I mean that's some grade A reporting.
You're
right
confirming
there.
or denying, DeMarcus, that you will be in the NBA this season.
Yes, absolutely. That's how the pros do it. That was my first time being in that kind of situation. Next time I'll be better. I just don't really have that in me. Like there's people, obviously he's a massive. It's very obvious that DeMarcus Cousins was there. I'm not into those people who walk, hey, DeMarcus, good to see you.
You're also in your other mindset where you're like doing something.
Yes, that's also true. But it's just
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I'm just not. Like, I just think it's like that guy is trying to live his life too. And, if he's doing truly nothing, sure, it's probably not the worst thing to walk up and acknowledge or try and get your fist bump or say, hey, you were my favorite king. But guy who is like, you're clearly doing nothing right now as you're standing pacing. Let me walk up to you and say, hey, man, you are the best. I hate Vladi. Like what do you supposed
you can always go, hey, I know you're busy, dude, but somebody told me you're working out with the Kings.
Kings, like, yeah, I mean, I need to be better. I need to get my TMZ on, and I promise I'll be better in the future.
Technically not true. There might have been a better way. Are you here? Are you working out?
I
hope you're working out.
Yeah, maybe
I
should have been excited. Yeah, that probably would have worked. Just like a level of excitement. Oh, DeMarcus, you're here. Are you working out with the Kings? Are you coming back? I got 5 of your jerseys, man.
My guess is he heard plenty of that this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way they enjoy hearing it. They got to be sick of it. And it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, it's great. Like everybody appreciates having fans, but at some point, it's like, yeah. Oh, that's great, dude. Cool. Glad you like me. Thank you. Sick. It's
fans
very much like
only. Got to be on the beat, Chris.
I'm
Get
trying.
the tape recorder out, bro. Come on.
I know.
If you have a tape recorder, you're in big trouble.
That is true. Yeah,
way
you just
behind
got your phone. You just do voice memos or the clock stopper or whatever I called it earlier.
Yeah, you got like your Walkman.
Exactly.
Hang on, DeMarcus. I got to rewind. Do a good spot on the tape.
Let me get my camera out here. Get the old 8mm out there.
Something to keep an eye on.
Just
There's
interesting.
going to be a lot of fans every year until DeMarcus is actually done.
Yes.
Clearly announced I'm through. There will always be Kings fans in the offseason that hope he comes back.
People love a good redemption story, and they like things to come full circle. And now that the Kings are good, and
my daughter's best friend named her dog after him.
Really?
Yeah.
Pookie?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. At least it's not a dog named DeMarcus or something like that.
I've got a buddy with a dog named Jimmer. So that's where it could go the wrong way.
That is by far the worst. I mean, my cat's name is Hallie after Halliburton.
Okay. Well,
but,
yeah.
It's just not a good idea.
When the guy calls Jimmer, does the dog like, I'm not responding to that?
Yeah. He's like, that guy sucks. Oh, jeez. I'm the real Jimmer.
Damian Lillard is still looking to force his way out of Portland. Have you heard?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem like that situation's gone anywhere in the past week. Yeah.
And there was a report that I didn't quite understand that suggested it's all about Bam Adebayo and he wants to go to Miami because of Bam, because during the Olympics, he and Bam became really close. And that's what the whole thing is about. And if you're going to trade Bam for him, it's not going to work because Dame wants to play with Bam. And I was like, maybe we just don't hear about this until something happens.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Team USA seems so dangerous. It's kind of a part of me is afraid for Keegan to go over there because Team USA is when people do their best negotiating.
And
yes.
You're looking at this glass half empty, glass half full. You want them to go there to get them to come to the game.
Yeah. Well, Austin Rivers was doing a recent episode of his podcast, and he said
everyone have a podcast?
Damian Lillard requesting a trade is, quote, bad for the league.
Yeah. I would say
if you're
so.
a free agent,
Sure.
then you can choose where you're going to go. That's the business. But when you're not and you sign a deal, that's part of the business. If you get traded somewhere, you got to go play. This started with James and Ben doing this bleep. It's bad for the league. It's a scary dynamic when stars start acting like this. And I'm not a big fan of it. End quote. Austin Rivers.
Says Doc Rivers' son.
Yeah.
I mean, those two examples, James Harden and Ben Simmons, I'm sure he's very, very aware of those situations and the true details of what happened there when I think a lot of us have no idea. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely bad for the league. There's no positive in this. Like somebody who's signed under contract in a small market demanding to be traded is just not a good precedent to set. Like, we could say but like, what if that were to happen here in Sacramento? What if De'Aaron Fox 2 years down the line is like, we're not winning championships here in Sacramento and I want to win a championship. So sorry, you got to trade me. Like it's just not good for these guys to have. They have power. Their power is when they're free agents, they can dictate where they want to go, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. If they want to sign for less money than what they're deserving of, they have the freedom to do that. It's already kind of bad when they ask with 1 year out, but at least it's doing a team courtesy of, hey, at least you can get something for me. But in this Lillard situation, he's got 4 years left on his contract. You agreed to be on this team for that amount of time. So
he's under contract through the 24-25 season.
You don't get to determine where you get to go now. You wanted to be with us. If you no longer want to be with us, it is now our decision to send you where you want to go. You made the decision to stay here when you didn't have to. And the same thing applies to James Harden with his situation. He didn't have to opt in. He chose to opt in. And so now Philadelphia is going to decide where he goes.
I think you've hit the nail on the head again. Obviously the Harden situation is a little bit of an outlier because that's a big market team. You know, when he says, I want to get traded from Philly, there's some other stuff going on, but a guy like Dame wanting Portland to trade him, the real damage to the league here is when they set up the rules to try to make it so a small market team can keep their stars.
Yeah.
So that you can offer more money.
Right.
But then if you're going to do that and then sign guys, and then in the middle of it, they're still going to say, yeah, I don't want to be here. What's the point?
Right.
And then it's just harder and harder for the small market teams to hang on to their guys.
Exactly.
And that's bad for the league overall.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's
fans of those teams.
It's a really dangerous precedent. And the NBA is already a league that's struggled with fans having issue with player movement year by year, and, big stars coming together and all of this stuff. Just fans have had an issue with player movement in general. And if you're going to, how are you going to convince small market teams that your guys are going to stay, that you should buy jerseys? Because again, that's what all of this is really about, is about selling tickets and selling jerseys. And if fans don't believe, I mean, you don't have to look further than the Oakland A's. Like, the Oakland A's fans are sick and tired of, they just want somebody that they know they can root for the next 8 years. But with teams, just if teams are going to continue to just churn guys out like nothing, I mean, if stars are going to demand out and teams don't, and fans don't know if this guy is going to be here for the duration of their contract, there's just no faith. And with that, I mean, it just leads to bad relationships between the fans and their organizations.
I think one of the only ways these trade demands actually work and end up being mutually beneficial is if the player and the team are able to keep it under wraps. Like, hey, just so you guys know, could you do something?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything.
And then once you're traded,
and then the team can, that could, all right, thanks for letting us know. But as soon as an agent or the team, because one side or the other is trying to exert pressure or gain leverage, then the whole thing's out of whack and it becomes a showdown, a stare down, and it's bad for the team and for the league ultimately.
Yeah, it's kind of a conversation about this era that we're in, like this, what is Elon calling Twitter now? This X era. I don't know if you heard.
I saw it today and I was like, what?
This weird Twitter era we're in, where we learn this information maybe before we're even supposed to know it. Like, it almost is.
Why is
it
doing
beneficial to it? I have no idea. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you're talking about Elon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea.
He's had like X.com for a long time. Like, when he got part of PayPal, he wanted it to be X.com, and everyone was like, that's stupid.
It is. It is stupid. Like,
so he finally got it. He finally got his X.com.
Like, is he really trying to, like, because so many things about Twitter are great. Like, I mean, the app logo is incredibly recognizable. When you use Twitter, you tweet something, like the verb, it all works. Like, what do you, I X'd it this morning. Like, I saw an X dot, like, it's just, I don't know. It sounds very black market or whatever, but I don't like it. But no, I just, with this trade stuff, I just wonder if, like,
I would think you would like it because you're the bad boy of radio.
I mean, but that's why I'm the bad boy of media. I don't like it. I think it's a really weird looking logo. Doesn't make any sense. And I don't know what Elon is trying to do. Like, Threads didn't work either. I thought there was a chance just because it was backed by Facebook, but the Threads, the timeline or whatever you would call it, your feed is just so out of whack that I don't know if Threads is ever going to catch on. But I was thinking this
Twitter,
morning.
if they just leave it alone. Twitter's pretty solid. If
if
you'd leave it alone.
I think a lot of people have, when I hear about like the discourse on Twitter, it's a lot of people talking about, politics and XYZ and all these people just, acting like bots and just actual bot activity. Like, why can't there just be like an app for sports specifically that is like, because that's really all that my bigger point is, that's all I divulge in. Like, I hear all the discourse. Takes. How about that?
All right.
The takes.
All right. We have all decided to quit, and we are going to be doing takes from now on.
Yes, the takes app. That's where Woj can be. That's where Shams can be. Because I don't need Twitter. Like, I don't follow the presidents. I don't follow senators. I don't follow
new from the
any of that
self-proclaimed
stuff.
bad boy of media.
Exactly.
Takes.
And then you could have Skip Bayless on it. You could have Stephen A on it. It's more just because, that was the question with Twitter is, if Twitter goes away, where are we going to get Woj? Where are we going to get Shams? Get them on the Takes app. Maybe it can be T8KES or something.
You're thinking too much. No.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
T8KZ.
Yes.
Yeah, that works. I'm writing this down. I just need,
myself.
if there's any app developers out there, please hit my line.
Oh, if this idea is any good, someone's already stolen it.
No. We're good. We're good. Bye.
This is like the best idea I ever had during the pandemic, which was for a cover you put over cakes with holes in it to put candles, so you could put it over the candle and still blow out cakes. And it's already copyrighted.
Wow.
Yeah, someone had already.
That's way too specific.
Candle dome. It would have been great.
Candle dome,
or cake dome, or whatever.
Yeah, cake dome works. I like that. I'm not creative like that. I can't create.
You are. You're the guy
you came up with takes.
Yes, you're the takes guy.
I don't think that's like that genius of an idea, but sure. You know what? I'll run with it. Sure, I'm creative.
More on the NBA when we come back here, and more on takes. We're looking for investors.
Takes
I'm not
app.
saying.
I
I'm
know.
just saying.
You're starting here.
If there's ever an owner's wing of the Hall of Fame, Michael Jordan going to be in it? Doesn't look like it. Next with Whitey and Watkins right here on Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes, Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
As for the Takes app, Chris Watkins just got a slap in the face of reality here.
Yeah.
Moments ago. He's getting ready to launch his Takes app. T8KZ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? How's it going?
It already exists.
What?
Literally by name too. Takes live sports chat already exists. I'm actually creating an account right now. It looks
Are you going to sue him and say it was your idea?
I'm going to say, exactly. I'm going to pull this audio and I'm going to say, I had this idea first. You clearly heard it on Whitey and Watkins and developed the app before I could even get it started by the end of the show.
Chris,
this app looks awesome.
Is it possible that you ran across it
No.
and don't really remember?
No, there's a
consciously?
0% chance.
Huh.
There's no way. No, there's no way. This app, it's really funny too, because when I was thinking about what this app would include, it pretty much is exactly what this app is. So whoever did create this, good for you, but I'm coming for you. You will see a cease and desist in your mailbox very soon.
Is it so good that you're discouraged now from
this is a really good app,
from changing the name of what you had and then trying your own version of it? Or do you just feel like, no, that's it? It's
no, I mean, like the name is like 80% of the company. Like, honestly, like if you Takes is just such a great name for it. I guess maybe I can try and develop something else, but if you have a good name, that'll really take you a very, very far way. So maybe we can workshop a different name, but at this moment I'm a little crushed. I can't lie, a little hurt, because it felt like this was going to be my big break, my big moment to finally make some money around here. And unfortunately, it looks like 10-2 is where I will stay. So it's unfortunate.
All right,
maybe.
Well,
sorry, maybe one day.
You have more information. Ultimately,
exactly.
It's not the information you were hoping to get.
It's research.
But that ultimately is a good thing.
It's research. Exactly. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's not the end of Takes. It's just, this is a little speed bump along the way.
Yeah. Pretty soon they're going to come to you and say, you need to
stop. Hey, if anything, I'm just promoting your great app right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Here's some NBA information today. The NBA Board of Governors voting to approve the sale of the Charlotte Hornets to an ownership group led by Gabe Plotkin and Rick Schnall. So looks like the Michael Jordan Charlotte Hornets ownership era, it is all over.
Oh, no.
The sale won't become official for at least another week. The Board of Governors vote was 29-1 in favor of the sale.
Oof. Who was the one?
It's a good
Any
question.
Word?
I don't know.
I wonder who would have been. That's so strange. No, that's really interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, it passed anyway. That's all that matters.
So that ends Michael Jordan's his unforgettable 13-year run as majority owner of the franchise. He will remain on as a minority owner.
Yeah,
unfortunately, now I don't think there are any African-American owners.
Yeah, there isn't.
Majority owners in the NBA.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It is. It's ridiculous that a league that is such a massive percentage minority and specifically black that they can't get a single governor in there that represents the sport that they play. I mean, it's whatever. That's a whole different conversation. But I don't think Michael Jordan will be missed much. And if I were the new owners, I was thinking about this a lot I would be really increasingly upset about the fact that they apparently had no say in this past draft. Like, just ushering in this new era of whatever this Hornets basketball will become, I would have definitely pushed for, hey, I would like to be involved in these conversations, especially if we're taking a guy at number 2 that will hopefully be with our team the next 10 to 15 years. I would just like to have something to say about that. But apparently it was all Jordan. So that's on his way out. Could be a one last present for them.
I didn't know we knew that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it possible that behind the scenes they exerted some influence?
I guess.
Officially,
yeah.
I know that it wasn't their decision.
What I heard was they seemed to have been positioned that Michael Jordan was the one who was going to have the final say so on who was picked. That's all I got.
I mean, what could you have done? You could have said, you pick this guy or we're not buying the team.
I mean, no, but just more like, are we sure? Can we maybe watch that Scoot game one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I might need a little bit convincing, but whatever.
Michael Jordan's
we'll see.
Years owning the Hornets, if you had to sum them up in one word, what do you got?
Wizards-esque. It was
hyphenated, but it's judges? Is that a word?
That's cheating. That's cheating.
No,
Simone, Chris,
that's
is that
one
a
word.
You allow it? No?
No, you can't use the same word.
Wizardian. How about that? It was very reminiscent of Michael Jordan's Wizards tenure. Just very, just not good. I mean, it was terrible.
I think I'd say depressing. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the guy who's
I mean, after Wizards-esque. That's the first one, obviously.
Yes, Wizards-esque is, of course, the best word you could have used. I mean, there's just nothing notable about it. Like, the most significant Hornet in the past what 13, 15 years of Michael Jordan's ownership was Kemba Walker, maybe
Or
Emeka Okafor.
This is Gerald Wallace.
Gerald Wallace, absolutely. Like, and those guys are all okay, but even the Kings and their years of mediocrity or below terrible years, like they had DeMarcus Cousins, they had, sure, Tyreek Evans. It's just, there's like the Hornets have just not been a team to talk about. I mean, they have Steve Clifford as their coach again. Like they just were perpetually going nowhere. And at no point during the Michael Jordan era did it ever feel like this thing's starting to turn around.
It could be that Michael Jordan would be, what did you say about my time running the team? I couldn't hear you. My $3 billion were making too much noise. What was that? Right? He sold the team for $3 billion.
Hey, it was a great investment. Like, I think he bought the team for like $50 million and then selling it for, or it might have been I think it was $50 million, and then is selling it for $3 billion. Like, that's a great business move. I'm not going to knock Mike for that. And even through his best efforts, the team still continued to rise in value, mainly because NBA teams these days are just going for ridiculous numbers. But yeah, I mean, for sure, he made a good business move, but he kind of trashed he left the place a mess while he was there.
In 2010, Michael Jordan acquired a majority ownership of the Hornets for $275
that's close to 50.
$275 million.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
if the sale is approved, it would mean a substantial return on investment for Jordan.
I would say so. Yeah. I mean,
it's
good on him.
About 10 times his original investment.
I'm not saying it was a bad move at all. I mean, he was the first former player to ever become a majority owner like that. Like it was definitely a very big move in terms of progress. Like no player has ever made enough money to even think about being an owner. And that's kind of the dream, is to go from soldier to the person running the show. And, Mike did that. And I think we're going to start seeing guys kind of start trending in that direction as well. I mean, Magic Johnson's already been a part of ownership groups in the past as a minority
he
owner.
Owns the Washington football team.
It feels like he does. I saw Magic again this weekend, like 2 or 3 times. I think even ESPN interviewed him.
Got 4% of that team.
I don't understand it at all. I guess it's just a good name and a smiling face to put out in front of the media.
Yeah, he's probably a good representative for your
especially if you're trying to, promote, like, we're happy, we're a good family business. Magic Johnson absolutely is incredibly charismatic. But I mean, I think Jordan's era as an owner is definitely going to be looked on pretty negatively. I don't think it's obviously it's not going to taint what he did on the floor, but it does open an avenue for LeBron lovers to if LeBron's ownership of that Vegas team, which is all presumed and alleged at this point, comes to fruition and he does well there, it could give him an avenue to kind of get a leg up on Jordan. Like, hey, like LeBron was 10 times a better owner than Michael.
The final numbers: Charlotte under Michael Jordan, they won 423 games and they lost 600.
Yikes.
Which, if the A's, this team, they played, with this current roster just forever, they still would have. No, they probably wouldn't have a record that good.
No.
26th best record over that span. Hornets, as we said earlier, as you may have seen, they have not won a playoff series during that time. They have missed the postseason for the last 7 seasons.
Crazy. I mean, that is so bad. To not have a single series win in his entire tenure is wild. I mean,
but they have paid Gordon Hayward a lot of money.
Paid Gordon a lot of money. Paid Dwight Howard a nice chunk of money. Paid Kemba Walker a good chunk of money.
Kemba's back somewhere, but
he is. Yeah, I saw him
professionally, but it's not the NBA.
He's playing overseas. I just saw him sign, I believe, in France. I believe Nick Batum said that he's playing just south of France for AS Monaco. Yeah, for AS Monaco. So
good for Kemba.
Yeah, nice little area that he's been playing in. But I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, the dude is still in his early 30s, and just can't quite. His legs kind of just went, and that's how it goes with small guards.
Speaking of their legs went, a former King who apparently is on the back 9, if not nearly done as an NBA player, he suddenly discovers there's a demand for his services. That's next year with Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast looks mostly sunny with a light southwest wind. Temperatures won't be as hot as over the weekend. Plan for highs in the mid to upper 90s and overnight lows in the low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rolado with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fragoso's report on SactownSports.com. Buffalo Bills running back and kick returner Nyheim Hines has suffered a knee injury this weekend and is expected to miss the season. ESPN is reporting that Hines sustained the knee injury when he was struck by a jet ski and will require surgery. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Former Sacramento Kings are all over the place. Chris Watkins was telling us a little bit ago that he was hanging out this weekend with DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, me and Cuz just chilling out, hanging together.
Staying in the same place, right?
Yeah, same place. We coordinated that, made sure that our times were synced up, and
you guys were roomies.
Yeah, roomies, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much same. It's he's a big guy, so he obviously gets the bed. I get the rollout couch, but it is what it is. He makes a couple more.
Were people bothering him? And I know you were nice. You didn't want to.
Yeah, I was super nice. I wouldn't say people were bothering him. I would say he was bothered by people. Like a couple. People.
That's a little different.
Wow,
interesting. Doesn't sound like him at all either, does it? A couple people were. I wouldn't say anybody was out of control. Be like, oh my god, DeMarcus Cousins, like, oh, go send my kid over there to take a picture. Everyone was just very like, hey, Boogie, oh, DeMarcus, and again, he clearly sticks out like a sore thumb. So it's not like he was trying to hide, but you could tell that he's but he had his glasses on and all that stuff. So I don't think he was pleased by it, but yeah, I think people were definitely happy to see him. And I think there's kind of this narrative out there that like a lot of, I think a lot of Kings fans just flat out don't like DeMarcus Cousins, but I think a lot of people think that nobody liked DeMarcus here. But there's some DeMarcus truthers out there. We're a quiet few, but it's when we need to speak up, we'll let our presence known.
When I was a kid, kind of a kid, older kid, but still a kid, I did the one thing, getting an autograph that you're not supposed to do that I didn't know. And it was Vita Blue. And I asked him for an autograph while he was eating. He was sitting there talking.
Okay, gotcha.
He was eating his meal, and I went up and he signed it. And he was nice about it. But I found out later, my dad or somebody said, oh, you never.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Never ask somebody when they're eating.
Yeah, not at dinner or anything like that.
You wait till they're done, but before the check, so they have to stay there.
So it's a lot better to just like weirdly like stake out their dinner and just like watch them and be like, okay, now.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Noted. Writing that down.
I might have done that on a couple of occasions.
Who is like the athlete that you would just, I don't care, I'm doing it. Like if he's there, it's just like I have to, like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Got to do it.
I don't know that I would. I think
anybody
like you. When I first started in radio, I was at a station in San Francisco that was an NBC station, and NBC doesn't have stations anymore, but radio. But it was big, so they would have people come in, like Robin Williams came in, guys from like Monty Python. They would have celebrities. I think Kevin Costner came in once, something like that. And I had a rule, like, I'm not asking anybody. Although I did ask Sheena Easton for an autograph.
That's
but
the one.
For the most part, I don't know why. But I just like, they're working and I'm working,
sure,
and I'm just not going to bother them. And I kind of wish sometimes I had bothered a few of them.
Right. I feel like that's the problem with my mentality of things is like sometimes you just miss opportunities that you're not going to have again, and it'd be worth that 5 seconds of awkward and like, oh, I'm ashamed I did that, but it's like a lifetime of, here's this picture I have with Bill Russell, like,
you think the worst is going to happen, Chris, don't you?
It's more just like I could imagine it would bother me, and so I'm trying to not bother them. Like I could imagine how much of an annoyance it is to live your life and always be like, somebody's going to walk up to me and say something, and you have to be nice and you have to acknowledge them and all that. I don't know. It's just, I could just imagine it being an annoyance.
One time I got Bill Murray's autograph at Pebble Beach.
Incredible.
During an interview.
That's incredible.
Which, he can be, I guess, kind of prickly.
Sure.
He was a good sport, but I felt really confident that I'd get the autograph because I asked him to sign a Cubs hat.
Oh,
he's a huge Cubs fan.
Absolutely.
And I still have it, but the pen was not, it was like, if I showed it to you, you'd go, what? Oh, okay. I can kind of see
that Bob Barker?
Yeah. Which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that'd be an incredible
I felt like in
piece
that
of
case,
memorabilia.
I had done my homework and I knew what he was doing. It's almost like, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, there's a couple people out there where it's just like, if this is like, if I see Dave Chappelle or something walking down the street, like, I can't not be like, Rick James or something, like, I got to do something or say hi, get an autograph.
Oh, and he loves that from people in Sacramento.
I'm sure there's nothing Dave Chappelle gets more than I'm Rick James or
I'll do anything for you. What do you need?
Exactly. I'm sure he gets that tons of time, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. Like, that is literally exactly what I'm trying to avoid is being that person. But sometimes it's just it's worth it, I guess. To have that personal story and like. I don't know. Like I need to get over it at some point, but we're developing. Next time DeMarcus is in town, I'll get the exclusive interview.
We don't know where DeMarcus is going. We may know where one of his Kings teammates is going. 17-year NBA veteran, still playing, Rudy Gay.
The great Rudini,
Yes.
as Jerry called him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Rudy Gay hit free agency last week after a series of trades, which sent him from Utah, where he actually played last year, to the Hawks, then to Oklahoma City.
Yikes.
And they waived him. But now Rudy Gay expected to draw interest from several teams, according to Michael Scotto from, of course, The Office, as we've discussed. The boss from The Office, Michael Scotto. He reported Friday that the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Bulls, the Pelicans, and the Warriors are expected to pursue Rudy Gay.
Wow. Not just like have interest or, actually go out and pursue. I would have never guessed that Rudy Gay at his advanced age would have such value. I mean, he's kind of done at this point in his career, I thought. Like, I mean, he's not nearly the athlete he was at the time. He never really developed much of a jump shot. He still is 6'8", 6'9", and has length and can move fairly well, but I just don't know what real value he really provides the team nowadays.
Well, he's coming off of maybe he had a great year last year. He's going to turn 37 in August. Last year, 5.2 points, 2.9 rebounds, 1 assist, 38% shooting from the field. So nope, that's not it. That's
definitely not it. 25% from three is not getting it done.
Yeah, he was, though, a member of Utah's rotation, except for a couple of weeks where he was sidelined by a finger sprain. The most amazing thing to me about Rudy Gay, I was at Golden One when he tore up his knee.
Yeah, I was too.
January. It was January against the
it was right before the
Pacers,
deadline.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, he tore up his knee, and I remember they carried him off right in front of where I was sitting. And he was back he was on the floor, I think, in July.
Yeah.
And then he had next year he was with the Spurs. He kind of ramped up slowly, but I think he was like for the start of camp, he was ready after tearing that knee badly in January.
Yeah, as like I think he was on the other side of just on the other side of 30 at that point as well. So not in his peak athleticism, and he's had a really, really fascinating career. Not many guys have really played. I mean, clearly not as long. I'm looking at Rudy Gay's draft class right now. The guys that he was drafted with: LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy, JJ Redick, who's out of the league, Kyle Lowry's from his draft, PJ Tucker's from his Rudy Gay is very old for NBA terms at this point. I don't know what he can provide anymore. Like he was really fun in his heyday.
He's smart. He knows what to do. It's one thing,
I guess, but I mean, you just read his numbers out. I don't know what value he's going to bring to those teams that, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Mavericks, even the Pelicans to an extent have some intentions to win basketball games next year. I don't really know what Rudy Gay provides them besides like a good veteran locker room presence, I guess.
I think he would almost be like in case of emergency break glass guy at the end of some of these lineups. You could do worse with your 14th spot. I think the Warriors are looking like their 14th roster spot. I don't know about all the teams, but do you want to have a guy that's so young that A, he can't play it, and B, let's be honest, there's a good chance he's never going to be an NBA player? Or do you want to have Rudy Gay, who if you want to win and you may end up needing somebody, wouldn't you want to have Rudy Gay?
I mean, he's definitely ushered in a different era of his career. Since 2017, he's playing pretty much 20 minutes a night pretty consistently, down to 15 minutes per game last season. So, he can provide something out there still. He can go give you spot minutes, played 56 games last year and 55 the year before that. So he's been able to stay relatively healthy and ready. There's some value in it, but
and the way the game has changed, he can be a stretch big now, which when he first came in the league.
Yeah, he could be a stretch four for sure.
Yeah. Wasn't he the guy that, and I don't think I was here when this happened, they re-signed him and they had a big thing at the airport when he came in? And
sounds like him.
Yeah.
That sounds like something the Kings fans would have done, because it was a massive deal when they re-signed him. I mean, they traded for him, kind of like the Sabonis situation where they traded for him and he was good for the team for a couple years, but there was no guarantee that he was going to be there long term. And he did sign the extension in Sacramento, and it was really, really big news.
Yeah.
And then, I think a year or two later was when they eventually moved on from him. But, Rudy Gay was probably one of the 4 or 5 best small forwards that they've had since they've been here in Sacramento, which is more a state of how that position has been here in Sacramento. But, Rudy was a really decent player for the Kings, averaged 20 points per game for one season here in Sac. And, he's somebody that definitely, it's unfortunate that they didn't have more success when he was here. It's definitely one of the guys that probably deserve to be on a winning team here.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way he was getting passed around like a white elephant gift before he was a free agent, I thought, he's done. No one wants him. But to find out that 5 teams apparently are interested, good for him.
That's a lot. I mean, that is a
great
lot.
Rudini.
Yeah, good for him. Absolutely. He deserves. I mean, he's a really, really good pro. Somebody kind of like a Harrison Barnes who just takes care of his body, takes care of the work, and is a really good team locker room guy. Never heard a bad thing about Rudy in the locker room.
Rudy Gay was Harrison Barnes before Harrison Barnes was.
In a way, yeah.
Coming up, are you ready?
I think so.
Huh?
I think so.
Are you ready?
You better not.
You said
don't try and
do
freeze
whatever it
me
takes
like you
to
did
win.
last week.
Yeah. Shanahan's attempt to clarify the 49ers quarterback situation didn't actually clarify anything that's coming up. And the pretty great debate, fact or fantasy. I think there's one young man who has something to prove today.
Yeah. I was shaky on Friday. Got to make it up. Got to make it up today.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw you off your game
We'll see.
again.
We'll see.
It's coming up next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
The NFL season is right around the corner.
And Sactown Sports is your new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Intercepted and coming back the other way. Talanoa Hufanga. Touchdown! San Francisco!
The big bad wolf!
Catch every 49ers game this season on Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring today.
Summertime and River Cats baseball are the perfect pairing. The only thing missing is you. With weekly promotions, premium giveaway games, and unique theme nights, there's fun for everyone at Sutter Health Park. Stick around postgame every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets.
At your desk, on your phone,
In the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
on Sactown Sports.
Factor Fantasy coming right up, but before we get to that, we have something that approximates breaking news. Steph Curry has not.
Oh, jeez.
Steph Curry has not included LeBron James on his all-time starting five. Here's Chris Watkins with details.
Yeah, so Steph Curry sat with BuzzFeed over the weekend, and as BuzzFeed tends to do, made some strange content of Steph Curry surrounded by puppies.
What?
And as he was...
What kind of puppies?
Just the dog kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cat person.
Just a ton of... I can't
Cat
really get a
person
good
into Izzy.
view on there. There's just a ton of different puppies. I think it's all breeds, and
Okay.
I think it's like from an SPCA or something. But
That's nice.
yeah, Steph lists his starting five while surrounded by puppies. And
how else would you name your starting five?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good setting to do it. He's probably feeling good. Didn't name himself in the starting five, which
see,
is
he's
very,
very humble.
very humble of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all know Steph Curry,
kind of guy he is.
the humble artist that is Wardell Stephen Curry.
Did Rudy Gay make it?
He did not. No, he did not. So he's not on the recruiting trail right now, which is interesting. It would have been a big Steph move for him to say, you know who is underrated. Anyways, Steph's all-time starting five here. At point guard, he has Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting guard, Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
All right.
Small forward, initially went Larry Bird. Scratched it late, said Kobe at small forward, out of position there. Tim Duncan at power forward, and Shaquille O'Neal at center. One glaring omission there. One LeBron James was not mentioned. Was not mentioned at all.
Did you hear the one word Steph used to describe his relationship with LeBron?
Gangster.
Complex.
Really?
Yes. And he said, "Oh, he's great, and a great guy to know." And we blah, blah, blah. What's the one word you would use to describe your relationship? Complex.
I could see it. I mean, they definitely, they've had their battles for sure, but I think there is just a natural level of respect that they have for each other. But that has been tested a lot. Like, I mean, there's the LeBron staring him down, after blocking him in the finals, and that kind of became a whole thing. He had the Halloween party with the tombstones of all the Warriors guys on there. It's been a little rocky relationship, and I think Steph doesn't feel great about LeBron's new budding relationship with his best buddy, Draymond Green. Something tells me that Steph feels like that kind of is taking an edge off of that LeBron and Draymond intensity. I could see how complex is probably the right word to describe it.
Mutual. Yeah.
To be fair to Steph, he did name all players that are retired. So is that maybe
he said all time? It said all time starting five. He even clarifies at the beginning. He says all time.
Kobe over Larry Bird, by the way, is a joke at small forward. But anyway,
Absolutely.
be that as it may,
Total joke.
What'd you say? You said mutual respect, relationship that has been tested.
Yes, it's definitely.
You could have been talking about you and I in Factor Fantasy,
Oh,
and it's time once again. Here is Christopher Laud, your judge for the day.
As we all remember, Whitey won last week.
Who could forget it, Your Honor?
Except in Factor Fantasy, all records are thrown away at the start of each
I didn't know that.
Factor in Fantasy.
Yes.
So we're starting anew.
Okay.
And so, Chris,
Feels good.
you lost. You're going to start this one.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan's attempt to clarify the 49ers QB situation last week didn't actually clarify it at all. Fact or fantasy?
Yeah, that's an absolute fact.
That's the fact, Jack.
I mean, he didn't clarify it because he didn't give an answer. Like he didn't say. He just says, "I love it. I love the optionality. This is great. This is fantastic. I love having the choices. Every choice we have is great. I just can't pick which one's the greatest." He's like, "I love Brock's experience, but I also love Trey's experience." Doesn't mention Sam Darnold in there, but he's like, it's just a great room. Nowhere in there does he lean anywhere towards Brock. We obviously know that Brock's probably the favorite. As they've said, he will play if he is healthy, but his comments did not lead us anywhere towards is Sam Darnold the second quarterback? Is Trey, is he in good spirits? Is he in the good graces of the coaches? Any of that stuff? No, we did not get any closer to figuring out who's the Niners starting quarterback.
Kyle Shanahan's attempt to clarify the Niners QB situation last week did not actually clarify it at all. That is a fantasy. I think it did clarify something. It clarified that Kyle Shanahan is not nearly as smart as he wants us to think he is. And here he is trying to say, we've got 3 guys we could play them out. We all know what you're doing, Kyle. On the one hand, you know, the Purdy's the guy, and you really aren't that high on Trey Lance, or you wouldn't have Sam Darnold there. So you can try to make us think that we have 3 guys, we could play any of them. And he actually thinks that he's going to trick opposing teams into not knowing who's their quarterback. We don't know how to prepare for them because any one of these guys could play. It's not true. We all knew what the situation was, and we'll see. It plays out a little bit here, but what it clarifies is, once again, Kyle Shanahan is not nearly as smart as he thinks he is.
Man, we don't remember last week, but Whitey sure does. He gets on the board quick.
On the board quick!
All right, let's start with you, Whitey. A's fans angered by the team's proposed move to Vegas will get a lot of support from Giants fans tomorrow night when they take the protest to Oracle Park. Fact or fantasy?
I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's a fantasy. I'd love to see it. I know that they're going to wear, their black cell shirts would be available. Again, I hope I'm dead wrong. I think most Giants fans are going to go, that's cute. If you did, if you were any good, you wouldn't have this problem. It's not our problem. We love our team. We love our park. Down with Oakland. So that's what I expect. I don't think they're going to get a big boost from Giants fans. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I anticipate.
Yeah, no, you are wrong. That's absolutely a fact.
How dare you?
No, I mean, I think that the animosity is more from an organizational standpoint. I mean, we know that the Giants have literally blocked the A's from moving to, San Jose because that's their territory. I don't think the fans really feel that sort of anger. Like, obviously these teams, would compete for actual World Series, in their past, but recently there hasn't been that head-to-head nature. I don't think there's really much of any bad will towards A's fans from Giants perspective. I think especially watching them go through everything they've gone through, I would hope that Giants fans view them as sympathetic towards A's fans. The Giants have won all of these championships in the 2010s, and the A's have done nothing but really struggle. And, Giants have had, a front row seat to it. I would hope that the Giants fans would understand the severity of this situation and understand how their voice could help this situation. I think that there'll be good support.
Chris, tying it up, I think we have more faith in Giants fans than Whitey does. That's
clearly.
Unfortunate.
He thinks they're pretentious.
All right, getting back to Rudy Gay. If ex-King Rudy Gay really does have free agent interest from the Lakers, Warriors, Mavs, Bulls, and Pelicans, the smart move would be to join the Lakers. Fact or fantasy?
Me. I will go with that's a fantasy. Rudy Gay is, as we've established, old. And if he's going to be old, he should join his fellow oldmen on the Golden State Warriors. I mean, I think if he were to go to a team like the Lakers, he's not going to get minutes over Rui. He's not going to take LeBron minutes. He's not going to get AD minutes. In Golden State, I mean, they're already building the retirement tour out there. You can play, you can take some minutes from Draymond, or at least get in that rotation. You have a young guy like Jonathan Kuminga, but with how Steve Kerr has treated Kuminga, I could see him getting that quick pull. And, we saw JaMychal Green get tons of minutes last year. Why can't that be Rudy Gay this year?
I think Rudy Gay, if he really has free agent interest from all these teams, smart move would be to join the Lakers. That's a fact.
That's the fact. Yeah.
Chance to play with LeBron here, LeBron and AD, and you know that the Lakers are fully committed to winning a ring right now this year. They're committed to doing whatever is possible, whatever they need to do that, and that's what Rudy Gay would like to do, right? This is probably his last year. Which team gives him the best chance at winning a ring of those teams? I'd love to say it's the Warriors. The Mavs, I don't think so. Bulls, Pelicans, I think it's the Lakers. The Lakers give him the best chance of winning a championship this year, probably his last year in the league. And Chris made a lot of good points there, but I think what it comes down to is his best chance to win a championship this year may not be a great chance, but his best chance is to win with the Lakers.
All right. For this day's fact or fantasy, have to go with Chris Watkins.
Come on.
Dang! Rudy Gay can't go to the Lakers. He's already kind of so-so as a Kings legend.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to completely throw it away by going to the Lakers? No way.
Right. That's his primary concern. Is what do Kings fans think of me? Wow.
Add him to the hoop grid, too, for Kings Warriors. Just another guy. DeMarcus, Mitch.
That's what
Weber.
you're thinking of free agents now is hoop grid possibilities.
Hoop grids, exactly. It's endless.
Man, that one hurt.
That one felt good.
Stung.
It's a good way to start the week, set the tone for what's to come.
Rigged.
Yeah, sure.
Coming up next here, it's time for an extension for the most underrated player on the 49ers roster. Unless you disagree about who that is, we'll get into that next. Watkins disagrees with everything I say now. And Verla's like, no, he's right. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
If Keegan Murray is able to make anything close to the jump people are talking about, and the Kings go out, whether it's this year or next year, and get there again, they're Aaron Gordon, Draymond Green, whatever defensive stopper, and the following year they stay relatively healthy, they're going to win the title. They're going to win a championship. And I'm saying that I'm saying that matter of factly. There's no question in my mind that's not hyperbole, and I'm the pessimist.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Attention, Sacramento Valley. Elk Grove Kia is on a mission to become the leading volume dealer in the region. Introducing the revolutionary 2023 Kia EV6 Wind Edition. This all-electric marvel will leave you breathless. And the best part? You can drive it home for just $399 a month. That's right, experience the thrill of emission-free driving without breaking the bank. But let's not stop there. Elk Grove Kia is proud to present the all-new 2023 Kia Sorento Hybrid EX all-wheel drive. This full-size SUV combines power, comfort, and incredible efficiency. With an impressive 36 miles per gallon, you'll be going the distance while saving at the pump. And guess what? It's only $419 a month. Elk Grove Kia, driving towards a brighter and greener tomorrow. 2023 Kia EV6 Wind rear-wheel drive, $39.99 plus tax, 36 month lease, $49.95 due inside. Residual $29,849.70 based on $10K per year, 20 cents per mile over, 0 security deposit, subject to Kia finance, tier 1 approval. One of this man GK 8609104377. 2023 Kia Sorento Hybrid EX all-wheel drive, $419 plus tax, 36 month lease, $49.95 due inside. Residual $25,915.05 based on $10K per year, 20 cents per mile over, 0 security deposit required, subject to Kia finance, tier 1 approval. One of this man GK 83391894 expires 7/31.
Elk Grove Kia.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring today.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And is swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fergoso's report on SactownSports.com. That's your headline. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
On one of our monitors in here, we have the basketball tournament on, and one of the teams in the basketball tournament is named Sideline Cancer. And I thought that was Odell Beckham Jr.'s nickname. I don't understand how they can call a team. Doesn't he have rights to that?
I see what you're doing. I was like, wait, what? Was he sick at any point? Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
No, it took me a minute. Sideline. Oh, you want to sideline?
Yes, you
cancer.
want to sideline.
All right, good.
Cancer.
Yes, I'm definitely in favor of that.
Right. It's like it's like in school when they teach you comma placement, and it's like, let's eat grandma, and then it's like, let's eat grandma. Like it's like we will either eat grandmother or you're telling grandma, let's eat. It's like, sideline cancer. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's weird. I feel like DeMarcus could also fit on sideline cancer as well, probably. I mean, he was a
I thought you were buddies.
Well, if
you guys spent
if he's
the
weekend
together,
yeah, I learned some things. No, he's not my buddy, and he's definitely. He's I would say cancer is probably a good term for what DeMarcus has been in a couple locker rooms for sure.
Man, and you had fast track towards an exclusive interview with him.
I did. I know.
Now he's going to say, "What did he call me?"
Well, now he'll know who I am. That's the thing. That's sometimes you gotta get the notoriety first, and then ask the questions. If I just walk up and I can be any Joe Schmo, he might not take me seriously. But if I'm Chris Watkins, the guy who came after him in his career, then then he's probably got some things to tell me.
Yeah,
who doesn't love the juice too?
We have an update on one of the most unusual stories of the day, that being the massive offer that the Saudis have made for Mbappe. Yeah.
Yes.
Saudi
Kylian.
team Al Hilal, as you probably know by now, made a record $332 million bid for Kylian Mbappe today. And we have his reaction. And his reaction, thank you, Christopher Loudon. We're sure this is from him.
Yes, this is from him.
It was a response to Giannis Antetokounmpo's tweet.
Yes. Yeah, Giannis is hilarious. Giannis tweeted out, he said, hold on, let me get the exact wording here. Giannis says, Al Halil, you can take me. I look like Kylian Mbappe, and then post a selfie of him holding up number one. And yeah, I mean, he looks a little bit like Kylian. They got the same hair, and they're the same skin tone a little bit. So there's something there, but it's just Kylian Mbappe throwing about 15 laughing emojis to Giannis. So you probably wouldn't even honestly signing Giannis to that kind of money to play soccer might be worth it. Like if you get a 7-footer out there like Giannis who can jump and leap, put that man as striker, he's getting every header in sight, or put him in the net. I'd imagine those long arms could probably do him some good.
I got you. So his laugh emoji is in response to what Giannis said.
Yes.
Not in response to the offer, which again, according to ESPN reports, he has indicated he doesn't want to sign there, doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia.
And looking from like a soccer point of view, I could see why he wouldn't want to go, because you're definitely going to be playing against less competition. The Euro 2024 is next year, and he's going to want to play that with France. And so it's like, okay, you're kind of taking a year off.
Right.
So that's something, you're not going to be in Champions League. You're not going to be playing against the best in the world. So I could see it from that standpoint, but that's still a lot of money to turn down.
Again, sources telling ESPN Mbappe not interested in the offer.
Yeah.
And you have to figure if the Saudis knew that or had any indication that was the case, then this is just some big giant PR play. Because they don't have to, as you guys pointed out to me, they don't have to pay anything if the guy doesn't go.
Yeah, Chris, you might know this better. Is this kind of like a sweet spot for them to offer? Like, is there any way that like 3 years down the line they can maybe offer him this? Or is this kind of like a, I know there's a ton of Real rumors and stuff like that. Is this kind of like the perfect time to do it?
Man, I don't know, because it's one of those things. I don't really know what the Saudi League is trying to do.
Right.
Like, are they trying to, because like the MLS was out for a bit where you're trying to get these players that are past their prime
exactly
come and play. It's so like, oh, remember these guys type of thing. But then if you're going after like in their prime players, I think you would have to do like, I mean, it's not just Mbappe. You need like teams to come over basically.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know how this thing is going to play out, but it's just not, I mean, it's not good that this is in the news, because I think you were pointing at it earlier. I mean, this is, it is kind of a message to anybody out there. It's not just to Mbappe. It's like, we have the money. And if if you're any soccer player who's interested or feel like you're an NFL running back and maybe you're not getting fairly compensated for what you believe you are, someone will pay you out there, and it'll probably be in Saudi Arabia.
But PSG can play hardball with this too, because they got offered the money, and you need both the team and the player to agree with it. He could say no. They've already taken him off of the preseason tour in Japan that they're on. They could say, you know what, fine, you don't want to go. Well, we're going to pay you, and we'll just sit you, and you're not going to play at all. So what do you think about that?
What's to stop them from saying, hey, Giannis he was kidding, but he'd be interested. We'll start our own basketball league then.
Why not? I mean, it's
10 we'll go 10 teams, and
I mean, if they're throwing that kind of money out there, like, I mean,
you could start a basketball league with that money that they're offering Mbappe.
1 year. Like they're offering him $700+ million for one season. Like you can pay an entire basketball team.
That's a third of what Michael Jordan paid for the Wizards.
They have to know that he's not going to take it.
I mean,
I'm not saying they don't have the money, but still, that would be.
I think after Cristiano Ronaldo went, any and all things were possible. Like, I mean, not that Ronaldo's the most morally just man out there, but that kind of just sets the tone that, like, I mean, because Chris is right. Like, traditionally, that it would be the MLS route that these guys would go, and that's where you earn your money. But Ronaldo showed that you can make even more money, and it'll all be fine. You'll definitely take some backlash, but for the most part, it'll be pretty quiet, and you'll just sit on your hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think once one of the best players to ever play does it, it makes it a lot easier for other people to say, well, yeah, Ronaldo did it, I can do it.
They first started the golf league, of course, the Live Tour, and they got the biggest players to come over.
Exactly.
So very early on in the process, their league, if you will, Live Golf, was comparable to the PGA Tour. Is soccer then the next easiest one to make up that ground? What I mean is, if the Saudis said, let's start a football league, well, to the eyes of many American fans, it still would be like, yeah, it's the NFL. I love the NFL. That'd be really hard. Even if you got a lot of great players, it'd be really hard to be on a level playing
exactly.
field.
Especially
but soccer, maybe in the NBA, same.
I would say NBA is probably the easiest.
Okay, easier than soccer,
just because you have less players.
You have less players, and like it would take like 1 to 2 stars could make a massive impact. Where soccer definitely can make an impact, but if you have, let's say they bring over Kyrie Irving and I don't know, throw out some Zach LaVine or something.
And Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And Giannis, exactly.
Sure.
Like that.
Some international stars.
That'll make people tune in. Like that's enough to make people actually watch those basketball games. And, that's just bringing in 2 guys. If you can sign 10 guys and field 3 to 4 good teams.
Yeah, I hope they don't, but I wonder if they
Right. I mean, there's some interest in there. People will watch Overtime Elite. People will watch LaMelo Ball's basketball league, there's Drew League even. Like there's avenues out there, even if it's not, professional basketball. Maybe you can do a summer league or something.
What about slam ball?
Man, if you
don't ruin slam ball.
Don't ruin slam ball. Exactly. I don't think money is what slam ball needs.
They probably have these meetings where these people are, asking the question,
yeah,
which sport should we go after? And someone says, hey, I know, baseball. And then they all start laughing.
They all just laugh, and it's like, that's funny. There's no way. Yeah, no. Baseball is definitely last on their list of let's pay these guys as much. Let's just throw money at these guys and try and solve the problem. I mean, it's probably basketball, if I had to imagine, would be next, just because also the amount of influence that those guys have. It's very scary. Oh, absolutely. And especially I think there's a couple guys who would probably take those contracts. Like, I mean, Russell Westbrook next year is probably going to make like a minimum deal. Like, you're telling me a guy like that who would also see probably a benefit from having, international sales as well of his shoes, his jersey, all that stuff. Kyrie Irving, I think, is primed for this kind of move. He's somebody who has stated his displeasure with the NBA as a whole and what comes with being an NBA superstar. I could see him getting a lofty offer. He signed a shoe deal with Anta in China. Like it would probably be beneficial if you're trying to build your international market, for sure.
Depending on what their goal is, ultimately, it almost looks inevitable.
I think so. I mean, in some capacity, whether it be owning a team like what we've talked about or making their own league, I think they're going to understand that, money talks to these guys, especially. And I think, it can get the deal done.
You're going to allow us to own one of your teams. If you don't, we're going to start our own league.
It's one or the other. And it's
for the commissioner recently, he said, we don't foresee that, but who knows? But no, we don't want that. But hey, who knows what can happen down the road?
I don't know what the right answer would be, because I mean, you could argue
play ball with the Saudis. That's the right answer.
For sure. That is the right answer, but that's again, money talks.
I know.
And especially with these big businesses, it's almost impossible for them to turn it down, especially to tell all their shareholders and all that, we turned down this $2 billion deal because we're morally just and right. It sounds great, but that's
PGA Tour,
unfortunately not how business
first
goes.
domino.
Yeah.
It's already fallen.
Just takes one. It just takes one really, really big one, and the rest will follow.
Coming up here, we're right back with a look at the most underrated 49er. I have a feeling Chris and I are going to disagree on that.
You think?
And Aaron Rodgers says he's going to be a Jet for a long time without actually saying that, as only Aaron Rodgers can. Next, Whitey and Watkins right here on Sactown Sport.
At your desk, on your phone,
in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports. Jimmy G and the Raiders take on the 49ers Sunday, August 13th from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas.
And Sactown Sports has all your coverage.
Kyle's offense versus Josh's offense, just different mindset behind it. So I think revamping the mind like that is the first step, and then just relearning the language. Basically like going Spanish to French, something like that.
The voice of the Niners, Greg Papa, has the kickoff at 1 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Your home for the 49ers.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job. the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Won't be long before you'll be watching this on YouTube and you'll see Chris Watkins in his Kings Barbie jersey. What it sounds like.
I mean, pretty soon. There are some
Kings Herald over there. Yeah,
some good looking jerseys. Yeah, the Kings Herald.
I see you eyeing that. Like, ooh,
I'm looking at it. I can't lie to you. I'm looking at it. Yeah, Kings Herald dropped some Barbie inspired jerseys. They look like they should be above board in terms of copyright. So, yeah, I mean, there's a decent chance that I get one of these. They probably won't wear them on the show, definitely, but maybe, you might catch me on a hot day like it was over this weekend. I might rock this. It's not terrible.
You let it be known that you would wear one on YouTube. Next thing you know, you're gonna have one.
Oh no, there's no way. I don't have that free. I don't have that kind of pull. There's no way.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Am I right, Chris Verlaud?
No.
He just mentions that. Oh, maybe I'd wear one. Next thing you know,
no.
Yeah, Mr. Watkins, what's your size, sir?
No.
If we pay you this amount of money, will you wear this jersey?
Yes, I will. Absolutely.
Careful. Yeah.
Well, it's a slippery slope, but yeah, I mean, this is.
And that's the dirty way we find out the King's Herald is owned by Saudi Arabia.
There's a story on ESPN.com about, I didn't read the story. There's a picture of a Barbie in a Mavericks jersey, and it says, one mother's never-ending quest to find a Mavericks Barbie.
Wow.
And there's a quote from her, I just wanted to complete my collection. I haven't read the story. I don't know how it ends up, but it sounds like, because I think they have WNBA ones.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they have NBA Barbies.
Yeah, there's I saw some Kings ones. Shout out Christo's Closet, who has like a ton of he's an Instagram page that has tons of just throwback gear in general, throwback attire, tons, like a ridiculous amount of King stuff. But yeah, he posted in the box like 2 different Barbies with like some King starter jackets on. Incredible. Like, I can't imagine. I'm gonna actually look up how much those are, because I might have to snag one of those. It's a nice little collector's piece.
Can I tell you a quick Barbie story? Yeah,
I would love a quick Barbie.
A lot of Barbie with my daughters. We made up names and stuff.
Sure.
And our oldest daughter, Lonnie, when she was little, my wife is Filipino, Okinawan. So, Barbie's blonde and everything. So, and our daughters love playing with Barbie. And we thought for our oldest daughter, there was this, at one point, Barbie had a friend named Kira.
Okay.
And she's Asian. And we thought, being, such brilliant parents, hey, would you get this for Lonnie? Because, she's
representation
Asian
matters.
And maybe she can relate to it.
Absolutely.
So we get her this doll, Kira, and she loved Barbie. And she's like, we noticed like she's not playing with Kira. Like, why aren't you playing with Kira? It's like, oh, I like Barbie better. And it got to the point where like we would find it hidden. She would like hide it because she did not want to play with Kira. And I think she just, she didn't look as happy or something. I don't know. It didn't have anything to do with any of the stuff we were thinking of, but it was a lesson. It's like, I think we were just trying too hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
That's Kira. That's not Barbie.
Well,
exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Nobody likes a Kira doll. It might be Kira featured by Barbie. But everyone's looking for the Barbie doll.
Kira's a lesser. Yeah, I understand Kira's not in the movie, but Skipper is. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are other Barbies where I'm just like, wait, what? That was a thing?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My sister has a couple of, or I guess my parents have them in our childhood home, like the Millennium Barbies, which I guess were like meant to be this massive like collector's item that you were supposed to hold on to, and then 10 years that would be $10,000. Ridiculous, dude. Just, it's like, you remember when Beanie Babies were a thing in the early?
Might have a few of those somewhere, sure.
For sure. Yes, absolutely. Just like, we were just so convinced of those collectibles were supposed to be paying for our college tuitions, and just never paid off. I'm actually
back when college tuitions were enough where you could buy them with a Beanie Baby.
Exactly.
When Beanie Babies first came out, whatever year it was, my wife bought like 5 of them for the neighbors next door and for our kids. I mean, 5 of the original ones, which became
first edition,
even that really valuable. But she gave them the kids; they play with them.
Exactly. It's just like sports cards, where
First
it's like
you do is take that stupid tag off.
Exactly. You take the tag off. For sports cards, you just throw them in your pocket. You wrap them in a rubber band. It's like these aren't ever Pokemon cards. Simone has the sad Pokemon card story.
Boy, you like mentioning that.
I just, it's a wild story. That's a lot of money to just not have. The Barbie Kings doll, by the way, $125 on eBay right now. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have to swoop one of those.
Speaking of values, who's the most undervalued, the most underrated San Francisco 49er?
When I think of that, I kind of think it's Fred Warner, and I don't think it's from a 49er fan perspective. I think 49er fans are very aware and always are singing the praises of Fred Warner, rightfully so. But I don't think any, your run-of-the-mill football fan is really saying, oh, yeah, Fred Warner, top 3 middle linebacker, absolutely in this league. It's just, when you think of the best middle linebackers in football, those are some of the biggest names traditionally. You think of Ray Lewis and Lawrence Taylor and names like that. But, it doesn't feel – and, nowadays Bobby Wagner – excuse me. And I just don't feel like Fred Warner ever really gets brought up in the conversation of best linebackers in the game. And he just undeniably is, in my opinion. I think he was number 18 on that top 50 Pro Football Focus list. Like
14, I think.
He's a really, really good linebacker. And I just don't think that there's much conversation had nationally about how good he is. So that would be my pick.
I agree with you for the most part, but I do think that his reputation is starting to catch up to the reality of how good he is.
Sure.
To me, the most underrated 49er right now is Juwan Jennings. And Juwan Jennings is in the last year of a deal worth, I think, $940,000.
Oh, boy.
And he's not, he's your third receiver, but he's really important. Last 2 years, 59 catches for 698 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he's converted 31 third downs.
Wow.
So he's a clutch receiver. He's one of those guys, I think, at the combine, his 40 time was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, that's not very good. But when it comes to the games, Kyle Shanahan says he gets separation. And, he had that huge game, that must-win game against the Rams a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The last game of the season. He had a huge game. He's really solid, really reliable.
Yeah. And I mean, that's underrated is the perfect word for a guy like Juwan Jennings, who, his value. The fact that they throw to him so much on third downs and to get those first downs, like that just shows how much they view him as a receiver. And there's also speaks to his skill set of getting open in those kind of situations. Like those are very, very high leverage situations. And traditionally those are going to go to your best playmakers, guys like Debo, Ayuk.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you would assume would get a majority of those first downs. I actually looked it up, and Debo only had 2 more first downs last year gotten than Juwan Jennings. To me, that just, that's not great for Debo, but to me that more speaks to how much they look at Juwan Jennings as somebody they trust and
how
truly
much he
believe.
shines, and
Exactly.
when they really need him to.
And I wonder if, I keep talking about Debo maybe not being with this team next year. It's only because I looked at his contract as well. Debo Samuel next season makes $28 million. This year, his cap hit is $8.6 million. That's jumping all the way up. His salary is going to be $28 million. I'm sorry, not his cap hit. He's going to have the 5th largest cap hit amongst receivers in the NFL next year. I think like having a guy like Juwan Jennings kind of hurts the argument for bringing in guys, like especially paying guys as much as you're going to pay Debo Samuel next year, just because I think kind of to bring in the running back conversation, I think you can find a little bit more value with guys like Juwan Jennings than paying top end for a guy like Debo Samuel, especially if he's just going to be used as a receiver.
Yeah. If Debo has a huge year, the type that they're expecting, it's a good problem to have.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously
totally.
all teams are pretty good, but the 49ers are excellent when it comes to cap gymnastics and
absolutely.
reworking this.
Cap is a myth.
Yeah.
Cap is absolutely a myth. It does not exist. You can always find ways around it.
Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers is yet to play down for the Jets, as you know. Friday, there was a lot of talk, not only here with us on Factor Fantasy, but at Jets training camp. Aaron Rodgers said it would be a disservice to the Jets. His word, disservice to the Jets if he plays only one season. Robert Saleh added he would be shocked if Aaron Rodgers just plays 1 year. But Rodgers also said, Jets gave up a lot to get me. Now, if that 1 year turns out to be a magical year, who knows? It's more than that. It's how my body feels, and I've made some changes this offseason with some training and diet. In other words, oh, yeah, I got to play more than 1 year, but, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I can see. I think Aaron Rodgers wants to play for 2 more years, but I don't know. I mean, the guy looks just off of appearance wise. Every time I see him in that Jets jersey, he just looks like a guy who retired 4 years ago and is like taking some throwback old school picture. And I'm like, this guy he looks like he has every bit of. He's 38, 37 years old now. He looks like he's like 45 years old. He looks like he's
39.
He looks like it. He looks like he's like 45 years old.
There's some people when you get to be right about that age that, you get in shape and you lose weight. Some people you get about 40, early 40s, you lose a lot of weight and it looks like, dude, what happened?
That's exactly how
Are you all right?
Yeah, he looks sickly almost, where I'm like, dude, you're going to take a lot of hits here, right?
Robert Saleh said, I don't want to back him into a corner and make him commit to something like that. I just want him to have fun and know that when he walks in this building to let loose and have a little bit of fun, BS with the guys.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is Mr. Rodgers.
Yeah, chummy. Yeah, let's hang out and do some stuff outside of the office. That's definitely Aaron Rodgers vibe for sure.
So I think all they're saying is that'd be great if he plays next year, but we really can't worry about that right now.
No,
We'll just let you know that's our plan, but we'll have to wait and see how this year goes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the right way to approach it. But I don't think Aaron came all the way over here and made all of this noise just to play for 1 year, unless it goes really, really horribly. I would be almost shocked if Aaron Rodgers isn't here for a couple years at least.
Will Aaron Rodgers Jet be better than Brett Favre Jet?
I think so. I mean, Brett was pretty terrible for the Jets, and I think Aaron, as much as I hate to admit it, probably still has just a little bit left in the tank, especially with the talent that should be around him.
We've still got more than a little left in the tank here. Coming up, efforts to keep the A's in Oakland. They're going to ramp up this week. I hope I'm wrong and Chris is right about how things are going to go at Oracle Park this week for A's fans. That's next year. Whitey and Watkins are with you today on Sactown Sports.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast looks mostly sunny with a light southwest wind. Temperatures won't be as hot as over the weekend. Plan for highs in the mid to upper 90s and overnight lows in the low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
That clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access Passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has passed his physical with the Raiders and is expected to begin training camp with the team this week. Jimmy Garoppolo had offseason surgery to repair a broken foot, which he suffered in Week 13 last season when he was with the Niners. For more on Jimmy G's return to the field, check out Emil Fergoso's report on SactownSports.com. Buffalo Bills running back and kick returner Nyheim Hines has suffered a knee injury this weekend and is expected to miss a season. ESPN is reporting that Hines sustained a knee injury when he was struck by a jet ski and will require surgery. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Rooting for Jimmy G this year. Don't root for the Raiders. Don't root for the Las Vegas Raiders. Those of you who are tried and true Raider fans, I mean, no offense, but once they left Oakland, I don't root for the Las Vegas Raiders. But Jimmy G last year just threw some numbers up on ESPN. 16 touchdowns, 4 picks last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And 11 games, 10 starts. He just gets hurt all the time, or I think the 49ers would have stuck with him. He just gets hurt all the time.
Hurt! It's Kirk Cousins' most underrated quarterback, right? Is Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's right. That's right.
You know, he is what he is. I think you just have to, much like Kirk, honestly, you just got to kind of accept Jimmy Garoppolo for what he is, not really expect too much out of him, but you know, when he does make those routine plays, you gotta appreciate the simplicity of what he does. And you know, he's never going to really wow you with much of anything from his play, but he is somebody who's
wow you and the wins wow you.
Absolutely. I mean, but the play, the actual process of watching it isn't going to be pretty at for the most part. But he's going to get it done, and he's going to put you in enough winning situations to where, you will get a ton of results. I think it just you have to kind of have a really good team around him. Like, he's not going to be able to win many first 1 to 30 shootouts, but he can definitely game manage his way to a really successful team. Absolutely.
He beat the Saints, that famous shootout 2019, when everyone said, well, Jimmy can't win that type of game. Right. And he did.
He did. Yeah.
Of course, that was, I don't know, 14 surgeries ago.
That was a while ago.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
You said something about he doesn't wow you with his play. That's the San Francisco Giants right now. Ugh. We're not going to talk a lot about the Giants, but they lost again today. They had a makeup game in Detroit. They lost. They got swept by the Nationals over the weekend, and I think that's the first time that's happened. The Nationals hadn't swept anybody since 2021. So they lose that. They lose today, the makeup game, before they come back to play the A's tomorrow. So that's 6 in a row.
Yeah, I think after winning 8 in a row. So to follow that up with the
deadline coming.
I know. Yeah, maybe
Frankie says they're in on Verlander.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of, they definitely need to beef up their starting pitching. You know, we were talking last week about maybe they bring in Ohtani with them kind of slipping. I don't think Ohtani is going to be the difference between the Giants winning the championship or not this year, but you know, I think this Giants team is, they're so hit or miss. I feel like they go through this where they're really good for a couple weeks and then they just struggle. It's kind of the bad part of having such a young collection of guys is a level of inconsistency, but I expect them to be buyers at the deadline as opposed to, they don't have much to sell off, but I think that they're going to try and make a move at the deadline to make this team a bona fide playoff
That's
team.
kind of how baseball is now. I mean, 2 years ago, the Braves didn't have a winning record until August and they won the World Series.
Yeah.
So there's so many teams in the playoffs now. If you
Just
can
get in.
If you can put together a competitive team that can get you to the trade deadline, then you have a chance to add. That's really what it's about. And the Giants are in the thick of it right now.
Mhm.
They've lost. It's probably a good time to lose 6 in a row away because you can see, all right, where do we need to shore things up? They have
Right.
had some injuries too, so
Yeah.
you can address those issues. The worst thing is if you we're great, you don't do anything at deadline, and then you lose 6 in a row. It's like,
Exactly.
I guess
Maybe we should have done
something.
something. Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm going to be interested to see what Giants fans do tomorrow night. And I know we talked about this earlier, and I really hope you're right. A's fans are going to be taking their protest to Oracle Park tomorrow night, and they're hoping Giants fans join them. They're calling this Unite the Bay. It's a collaboration, at least that's the idea, collaboration between 2 A's fans groups, and Giants fans are invited to join the A's. So they're going to have shirts, A's fans who are trying to get the team to sell, trying to draw attention to this whole situation. They're going to give away black sell shirts.
Oh.
They say that's out of respect to Giants fans. We don't expect Giants fans to wear green,
right?
Because we're not their team. So we're going to have black sell shirts that they can wear, support their team through the colors, but still support us.
That's genius. Meet them halfway, absolutely, and that's a great way to get them to passively do it. Like you won't really even be thinking about it. You'll be showing support for this cause, but you're not necessarily selling out for your team.
Right,
or anything,
right. Yeah, that would be ludicrous to think that Giants fans are going to wear green shirts,
right,
to a Giants A's game.
Exactly.
And they're going to have posters again, including instructions to stand in silence during the first at bat of the 5th inning, and proceed with "Sell the Team" chants. Proceed with "Sell the Team" chants after that. Looking forward to that. I don't think it's going to have much of an impact, but hope I'm wrong. I think Giants fans, by and large, are going to be, we win. You like to imagine you're our rivals. You're not, and now you're leaving. Goodbye.
I think maybe from like a sports perspective, sure, but like the human element of this, something tells me that these Giants fans, especially if you're really like a baseball fan, you understand, like you probably have a lot of A's fans in your life, obviously with Oakland and San Francisco being so intertwined. You probably
sound
have
like
coworkers.
a split cap guy. Are
You've
you a
got
split
yeah,
cap guy?
absolutely.
I think this is
Big
the only
split.
time where the split cap is okay.
Exactly.
Split cap is never okay.
No, it is
The
okay for
only
this
time.
exact situation is the only time it's okay, because it is like you do have to show your brother some support. Like I hate the Golden State Warriors. I'm not going to root for them to be uprooted and moved somewhere else. Like
they just were.
Oh, I guess so. To
Across
an
the
extent. Yeah, across the bay. But even that, I don't think is right. But no, I mean, I personally wouldn't. Like, I think that it's healthy to have local rivals, and like, if any, like the A's and the Giants are on quite literally in different leagues from each other. But I don't really know why. Like, what would be the animosity from Giants fans? Like, yeah, you can, raise your nose at the A's fans or the A's in general who haven't had a lot of success, but for the most part, like these guys aren't hurting you at all.
I think it would be indifference if anything. And again, I hope I'm wrong. In Seattle, Seattle fans responded, and it's easy. We may have talked about this.
Yeah.
Seattle fans, this is like they lost their basketball team, so they understand. They can relate.
Sure.
Yeah. Giants fans,
They probably
maybe
can't
you're
relate
right.
at all.
Maybe there are a lot of Giants fans who, we like having the A's around. So
Yeah.
that's.
I just think it's
we
hard
won't
to
admit it,
argue
but it's
the
one of our
human
teams, too.
element of it. Like, regardless of where you fan, I just think people in your personal life who are affected by this, and I would like to think that for the most part, you can put aside for one day your differences and recognize that this is like
Maybe.
a starving fan base and a team that shouldn't leave. And it is, I mean, maybe for the Giants organization, sure, there'll be more Giants, a bigger pool of potential Giants fans available. But I think for the most part, A's fans aren't going to become Giants fans anyway. So I don't know. I don't see what the harm would be in trying to support this cause, especially when something that's like this is incredibly unjust. I mean,
I know
what's being
that.
done
Yeah.
to the A's is not something that should be supported by
Here's the
anybody.
reality, and you probably know it as well, if not better than I do. A's fans look at the Giants as a rival. Giants fans don't even look at the A's that way.
Right.
They just look down
Absolutely.
on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if there'd be animosity towards the A's, but I could see there being a lot of indifference. Like, okay,
yeah,
your ballpark's terrible. You should have built a new ballpark. You don't go to the game, so you're going to lose your team. All right, sorry.
I think
you're
if
not
anything,
as good as us.
If
Look
you're
at our stadium.
That's not indifference, though. That's having an opinion. I think if you're indifferent, you would just support it because what does it matter to you? Like, it doesn't do you any harm to support it. And I just think it's a really simple, easy gesture. And unless you're like adamantly against it, I just don't see why you wouldn't be for it, or at least a part of the cause.
I hope you're right.
I
you
hope
could
so
argue
too.
that it's
I
a better
really hope so.
baseball area if you have two teams.
Do you think it'll make any difference? Like, is Giants fans getting involved? Will that send a grander message to the league than what's already been sent? Or is it just the fact of continually sending the message even in different ballparks?
It's just like almost a drop at a time.
Yeah, I guess,
it's just a matter of if it'll be a drop. It can't hurt.
Right.
Can't hurt. Get to anything that gets a little more attention of the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, bottom line, that's not what they're looking at. How are you going to vote? Well, the fans were really unhappy.
Exactly.
That's not what they're looking at. So what we're looking at is Storytime with Christopher Laud coming up next, and Rami's going to join us for that right here on Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis, and eludes Gobert. That's off, two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones for 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines, such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com. or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155. 800-785-1155.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. I want to thank Joey Swanky. Thank you, Joey. Facebook friends.
Appreciate it, Joey.
Nice card. You're hired. Awesome. New job. Congrats. Thank you, Joey.
Yes, thank you,
Appreciate
Joey. It means
that.
a lot. Yeah. took the time to write us, even wrote us like a nice little personal message.
Very nice.
Very nice of Joe.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And you got a heck of a book.
Also, so this is one of the downsides, I guess, of having, I still have promotions director on our Sactown Sports website. I was sent this book, Chasing Dreams, the true story of the youngest female Tevis Cup champion. No clue.
That's awesome. Tevis Cup has something to do with horses, I'm guessing.
I have no idea. The image is like a horse trekking up a mountain. So I don't know if I have no idea what this could be, but I guess thank you for sending that as well. Thank you to I don't know who sent this over.
That's very nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'll be sure to
2 segments tomorrow.
definitely
right
crack into this book sometime tonight.
We're going to get ready for story time, which may or may not be related to horses in the Tevis Cup. And
it's not.
Yeah, just getting situated after a wild weekend, I'm sure. Rami joining us. How you doing, Roms?
Good.
Raminator.
Oh, so wild.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
I'm
still
such a
recovering.
wild man. Oh.
Do you even remember any of the
No,
weekend?
it was so crazy, guys. Oh man, it's all a blur. I don't even know what happened this weekend.
Wild, man.
No, it was pretty chill. I had a good time though. I hope
yeah.
I don't know if you guys talked about the get together at all at Verlad.
Mildly.
Watkins were over.
Yeah, it was a good time.
A little bit more of the staff, and we had a good time.
Uh-huh.
But a pretty chill good time.
Yeah, it was super chill.
That's
like,
that's how I like to do things.
More of a kickback.
Definitely
more of a kickback than a party.
Yes, definitely.
Much better.
Was it 104 on the roof?
No, we actually moved it down poolside.
Oh,
we went from the roof to poolside. There was more room, less sun. So
great setup too.
I was gonna say I made the call. My girlfriend made the call that we should probably do it down there, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea."
It was
Let's
the
do
right
that.
move.
Yeah, it was the right move for sure.
You got a lot of animals working today. Is that a bear, Chicago bear in your cap?
The bear on my hat, and
then
a dog on my shirt.
Pit bull.
It says, "Don't judge my pit bull," and I won't judge your child.
So you look like you're craving me today, and you're ready to rock and roll on the radio.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, it's a Monday. It was a good. Yesterday, I did absolutely nothing after cooking all day Saturday and having some drinks with friends, and then yesterday I literally just sat on the couch all day. So the battery is recharged, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready for some story time with Chris Verlad if you guys want to do that.
Love to.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlad gives you the stories that you need to hear.
Or maybe not.
Story time.
You guys are talking about animals. We should start with an animal story, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one takes place of, and I'm sorry, I hope I get this name right, Mihama, Japan. This is
Sounds good.
Courtesy of stuff.co.nz. You're going to want to stay out of the water because things inside have chosen violence, as you've seen. You've seen the orcas.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been
Shark.
staying out of water my whole life, and this is a message I've tried to relay to people, and they always look at me like I'm crazy. Stay out of the water. Stay out of all
Otter taking surfboards.
Yeah.
all natural and wild bodies of water should be.
It's also Shark Week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
especially
And they know it. They know it's Shark
They know
Week.
it's
They're
Shark
trying to
Week.
make
They're trying to put on.
And they're all on
Exactly.
cocaine.
Yes.
This is their Super
Yeah.
Bowl. This is their Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Well, this isn't sharks. This is dolphins. Apparently, dolphins have been biting and ramming swimmers in different attacks at Tsushihama Beach. 4 swimmers were injured in attacks last week, including one man in his 60s who suffered broken ribs as well as bites to his hands after a dolphin rammed into him.
They're supposed to be the good guys.
They are.
They are.
Later in the day, a man in his 40s sustained bites to his arms on the same beach, and 2 more were injured by dolphins, all happening at this popular beach. This isn't something that has just happened in Japan, though. Last year, officials in Texas warned the public to stay away from an aggressive dolphin off of the coast of Padre Island. Experts say dolphins may attack humans as a form of play, or they might attack if they feel threatened or agitated by humans' presence.
Either or.
Now, if
One
you
of the
ask
two.
me,
Yeah.
I think we might be annoying the dolphins more than
I think
playing
we're
with them.
I think we're annoying all aquatic life. And
All
it's
of them.
fighting back.
Absolutely all of them.
Nature in general. Nature in general is fighting back because we've been terrible to nature. And they're like, you know what? We've had enough of this.
Yep.
And we're fighting back.
Have you ever heard the story of when a Warrior player was at Marine World and a dolphin was choking on something and they needed somebody with a long arm
I
to
do
reach down
remember
into
that,
his
yes.
gullet? And this guy named Clifford Ray, and there was a dolphin and it had swallowed like a metal bolt and they needed to get it out. And they're like, hey, you got really long arms. He's like, okay. And they got him to pull the thing out. He saved the Dolphins' life.
Did he have a glove? Did he have like a shoulder length
glove?
You
need like full hazmat suit for that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, he did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No.
And that's how they repay us?
I think I'd say no.
I think I would probably say no.
No, they're saying you can save a dolphin's life, and you're like, nah, I'm
For
good.
free?
It's gross.
It's gross.
It's pretty traumatizing. Also, like you're not qualified to do that.
Man, you disappoint. You're Mr. Animal rights person over here.
The dolphin. I'm just kidding. Come on.
You would complain about it.
I would totally complain about it the whole time. I'd be like, ew, this is gross.
That's why you don't have long arms. That's why you stay out of the ocean and you don't have long arms.
I'd also be lecturing those people the whole time I was shoving my arm down that dolphin's throat. Like, this park shouldn't exist. These animals should be in the wild.
Yeah.
Why am I even here saving this animal?
You know what else is bad in the ocean? Jelly. You ever been stung by a jellyfish?
I have not. No.
Oh.
Another
No,
reason
he doesn't go into the water.
Stay the hell out of the water. Whitey, another reason I stay the hell out of the water. Yes, sir.
Even Lake Michigan? That seems fine.
Yeah, no, I haven't been in Lake Michigan since I was a small child and didn't know any better. And my mom just wanted me to be doing something that wasn't bothering her. So she took us to a disgusting beach on Lake Michigan.
What's the worst thing that would be in Lake Michigan?
I don't.
A pike or something?
I mean, I'm as much as I'm worried about the creatures. It's also like, I hate to put it this way. These bodies of water are our toilets and nature's toilets. That's where like all the waste is going, guys. I hate to put it that way. And then y'all are just jumping in. You know what I mean?
Head first.
Whales are doing all their business in that water and it's just floating around. You know what I mean? All the aquatic life is just doing their business out there. And it just floats in the water and y'all just splash around. Oh, this is fun. The sun is bright.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's gross. Y'all are gross.
I bet you don't take a lot of baths, do you?
No. No. Although I have thought about taking ice baths because I'm always in pain, and I hear it's good for you.
I hear it's good for you, but it seems painful.
Yeah. So I've thought about taking ice baths.
All right, guys. How about we go to Las Vegas, Nevada?
All right.
That sounds fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a blast.
This is courtesy of the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
The Post is reporting that Formula One, which is coming to the town, it's going to be driving all around there. They are demanding venues along the 3.8-mile circuit to pay $1,500 per head for licensing rights. Now, this isn't to show it on TV there. This is just to have people in your building. You have to pay these rights. That means a restaurant or club with 1,500 seats available would have to pay $2.25 million.
What?
For the rights for their views from their roof decks, terraces, and dining areas.
Wow. F1 has got a set on them, dude. That's crazy.
F1 is like FU. Yeah.
The letters sent to clubs and restaurants have warned that if they do not pay for the licenses, that obstructions like barricades, stands, and light stanchions could be built in front of their establishments.
Wow.
Other warnings of lights being shown during the night match into those restaurants that did not pay the rights fee could also happen.
Wow. Whoa. Dude, F1.
That's flexing.
Like, are they that big a dog that they can be?
Yeah.
Really? There's no way I'm paying that. And they're trying to turn all of Vegas basically into a stadium where people pay $15 a head to watch a race.
Oh, no, not
whether
15,
or not they want to see it.
Not $15 a head. These places are saying to pay for the.
Did I say 15?
Yeah.
I meant to say $1,500
for the $1,500. They say they might be charging people $2,000 for the right to watch at their establishment.
That's crazy.
And they had obviously no say in the route here, right? It's not like you got to.
It's just going to be happening there.
Yeah.
Just by happenstance.
That's wild.
That's insane.
That thing could be going through my backyard, and I'd close the curtains, so I don't get the attraction.
A good lawyer would tear that apart.
There's no way you can do.
I mean, I don't see how a lawyer could stop them from putting up barricades on their course that block your view. You know what I mean? That's all they're threatening to do. But that just seems preposterous to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try and charge all the casinos and hotels along your route. That's crazy. That's insane.
Trying to blackmail Vegas is a bold move.
Yeah.
It's very
really.
Those guys literally wrote the book on how to do it.
We invented it. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. Rami, what do you have coming up today, and who do you have coming up with
Christina Werner will be in the co-host chair once again this afternoon, formerly of Fox 40. And speaking of formerly of Fox 40, a legend around these parts, Jim Crandall will be joining us at about 3:15.
Great guy.
So, and plenty of 49ers talk with training camp kicking off this week, and plenty of other fun stuff on a Monday.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Boy, I'm glad you recovered from your weekend.
Oh man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy weekend. But I'm
It was
here.
fun.
I made
It was really fun.
Still a little hungover, but I'm here. I'm good.
Rami and Christina Werner are next right here on Sactown Sports.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area